And we're live. What's going on, everybody? Wow, we are really far back today. I might have to bust out this one a few times. How's everybody doing? Happy Wednesday. It is, what is today? It is the 23rd, which means, I think, is there one more Wednesday in this month? Is there 30 days in March? I don't know. We're getting close to the end of stream Wednesdays in March. Wait, we're in April. Oh my gosh. Anyways, that shows you where my head's at. Sorry, everyone. Also, apologies in advance. My allergies are probably going to be pretty bad today. I spent a lot of Friday and, well, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, and a bit of Monday evening moving a bunch of dirt for the garden. And so I've been outside a lot, and my nose hates me for it. So I did take some nasal spray, so I'm hoping that'll help. But like this morning so far, there's probably gonna be quite a few times where I hit the mute button and have to blow my nose. So apologies in advance for everyone for that. Maker Viking, how's it going? Thank you so much for the 2 months. Cheers, man. And Andrew, for the wait, it's April. Thank you very much for the $10 donation. Yeah, that shows you where I'm at. It's been just so busy with various things here, but I'm excited. I am very excited for this build series. We are going to be building the ProForge 300, which is an open source tool changer. I have zero experience with tool changers. I've sat on the sidelines for many years watching them, wanting to build one, and being very close to taking the leap quite a few times, and it just hasn't happened. And ProForge is actually a project that I've followed for a couple of years now. The ProForge 4 and then the 300 both launched on Kickstarter, and I was very, very close to backing it. And then I was like, well, I've got a bunch of projects going on right now, I'll just wait. And so what ended up happening was ProForge reached out to me either late last year or early this year, basically saying that they were interested in sending out a kit of their ProForge 300 for a build. And so I've had this here for probably a month and a half or 2 months, and I've been just like, I want to build this, but me and Steve just wrapped up the Tic Tac build series, so now we're finally going to crack into this, and I'm very curious to see. The main things I'm really curious to see is how cable management is handled, how calibration and setup of the different tool heads is handled, and then just, I don't have a whole lot of experience with slicing for tool changers. I imagine it's probably not far off from what it's like slicing for something like the AMS, where you have just different extruders with different values, but this should give us a lot more customization as far as like being able to use different materials. And the thing I'm probably most excited about is playing around with a larger diameter nozzle for things like infill, and a standard like 0.4 millimeter nozzle for the perimeters and external walls, to make parts strong and make parts print hopefully quite a bit quicker. So super excited about that, and hopefully you guys are too. March was a good month, but we don't want to go back. I agree. I agree. I'm ready for I'm very ready for gardening season. We for anyone in the States, I don't really it's hard for me to even understand this measurement, but we got 5 cubic yards of garden soil dumped in the driveway, and it had to go, all of it, through the side of the house to the backyard, and then dumped into the beds. And it was a lot of work. Basically just using shovels and a gorilla cart is what it's called. It's just basically like a cart with some off-road wheels that you pull like a wagon. It's almost like a wagon. And then the hardest part of the whole thing was the 2 beds at the bottom of the retaining wall. Me and my dad had to fill the thing with dirt, take it to the top of the stairs, then carry the soil down the stairs, drop it down, and then scoop it in. And that was brutal. Like the last step of it, so I'm just all. And Erin could not help. Erin was not allowed to help because, well, she's like halfway through the pregnancy now, and she's been having really bad sciatic pain. She tried helping me weed the other day and like completely locked up. So rent a dumper. I know, nice. I like because I work so much in front of the computer, like it's nice to get out and put in some sweat equity. But there was definitely a point where I'm like, I'm tired. And apparently, so either I am not great at even using a calculator, or the company I ordered the soil from didn't do a great job of measuring and gave me quite a bit of extra soil, because there's still soil in the driveway and I'm waiting for another raised bed to fill, because I ended up buying a bunch of grow bags and I filled up 20 of them, and I'm looking at how much soil's left. I'm like, I don't want a bunch more grow bags. So anyways, super excited to see more about this, but I would want a bit of a larger volume. They do have a larger volume and more toolhead version, which is the ProForge 4, but yeah, this is the ProForge 300, which is a 300 by 300 by 300 cube, and it has 3 tool heads, which should be plenty for really what I want to do. But let's take a quick look at it before we get into here. Also, it's going to be, if I'm a little bit distracted right now, there's a neighbor kid that lives like 5 doors down that has a small gas-powered go-kart, and he is currently going up and down the cul-de-sac with it. So when it comes by, it's definitely a bit of a distraction for my squirrelness. I've got all but one raised bed installed and planted, put in a loquat tree, nice, and got started on the decorative beds I'm putting in around the base of the house. That's exciting. That's awesome, Andrew. Nice, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships, buddy. Cheers, man. Yeah, so I was up till, well, I didn't actually fall asleep till like 4 a.m., but I was gardening till 1 a.m. last night. I had to repot a ton of the plants in the garage. I wish I could show you guys. I'll take a photo and post it in Discord, but I had planted initially, I want to say it was 160 seed starts, and I would say about 130 of them took. And so that was, I started that probably a little bit prematurely about a month and a half ago. And yeah, so I've been repotting them, and the issue I'm running into is because I'm repotting them from little seed starts to red solo cups, I don't have enough space on my shelves for all of them, so it's getting a little dicey. And I'm like, I think that by May 10th I should be able to put them in the garden, but I'm really scared to put them out there before in case we get a late frost like we've had previously. So Tuxedo, thank you so much for the 2 months. Exciting for the tool changer build. Yes, so let's take a quick look at this. So it says ProForge is a high-speed open-source tool-changing printer. Like I said, 300 by 300 by 300. It uses a quad-core XY motion system. So the like the Core XY motion system's using 4 motors, which I've only ever done once, which was on the VZBot build. So that will be interesting in itself. But yeah, let's see. It uses Orbiter V3s for the tool heads, auto tilt and bed scanning. Oh, cool. So it looks like it's using an eddy current. I actually didn't realize that. Filament sensors, 120 Celsius bed. It is open source running Clipper, which I'm pretty excited about. I don't know how Clipper handles, tool changing. I guess that's probably what all the stealth and tap changers are using. So I anticipate there has to be some sort of stuff. What are you growing? Literally so much stuff, man. I'll do a quick run through of like some of the things off the top of my head. So large tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, bell peppers, jalapenos, pepperoncinis, honeydew, cucumbers, zucchini, yellow squash, carrots, radish, lettuce, spinach, beans, peas, tons of herbs. There's got to be more than that. I just planted 3 raspberry bushes, a blackberry bush. I have asparagus coming. I have asparagus coming. And I feel like there's probably more, so a lot. No hemp. It's not legal in Idaho, man. And no hemp, man. I'm too squirrely. I can't. No. Not for me. So the question everyone is going to ask: when are you building an INDI? I don't know, Deanna. I would love to build one. I don't know what I would put it on. The 2.4 is going to be having the box turtle, so I don't know that I would use that. The Trident's already so heavily modified, so I don't know. That is a fantastic question. It would be cool it would be really cool if I could figure out a way to put it on the Magneto, but yeah, I don't know the answer to that question yet. Thank you, Ryan. It's a lot of new plants for me this season, so I'm excited and a little bit nervous. Oh, corn! I'm trying to grow some corn. So, I got an SEO8 for the box turtle with IND. I got SEO8 for the box turtle. Then gotcha. I have the SEO8 still, but I'm probably going to end up letting it go. I'm selling a couple of machines just locally for a pretty heavy discount. I have to clear up some space. Things have gotten a bit out of control here, so. I don't know. How many tool heads on this? This is 3. I don't know if you mean this or on something else. Hey, Jerry. Okay, so ProForge 300 Max. I don't know if we got the enclosure with this. I'm pretty sure we got the non-enclosed version, but we'll find out. So the plan is basically today, get everything out of the box and start working on the frame. That's sort of what my plan of attack is here. Hopefully the go-kart stops going in the next 20-30 minutes here, because it's very distracting when it gets close. How's everybody doing today? It feels weird not having Steve here after streaming with Steve for, a month and a half. All right, so, oh, cool. I'm gonna have to figure out a good place to store all this stuff. I'm officially out of drawers on my system behind me here. So we have got Smart Orbiter V3s. We've got 3 of these, and I have not used these. I have one. Jason had sent one a long time ago, but I wasn't sure what system to install it into. So I'm very excited to actually use these. I'm a big fan of the Orbiter, so I'm excited to see these. And I believe that just like the Orbiter, yeah, this is probably how they're going to do the filament runout, is there's a built-in filament runout sensor, if I'm not mistaken, and toolhead board for these. So just catching on the stream till end of your work. Nice. Always good when it's hump day too, so you're halfway hopefully through the work week. Then we've got Orbiter 3 toolboard kits, Orbiter 3 toolboard kits, Orbiter 3 toolboard kits. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that means that we're going to be running these over USB. I don't think these are CAN. Let me see. Maybe they can run via CAN? They might be CAN bus. I don't know. I don't see the Nighthawk style USB like connection I'm used to. Hey Zadi. Well, I don't implement tagging people on chat for the phone. I don't know. Nice. I despise that though. Okay, no. I think it is USB. So I think we're going to be running these all via USB. I'm curious if this has a Pi or whether I'm supplying my own. I think I do have at least a Pi 4, or I might have a Pi 5, but I'm curious to see. They can they do CAN? I don't know if they are capable of doing CAN bus. I'm not familiar with this specific board, so I guess time will tell. I don't think I have any or have ever played around with them, so we'll see. I don't actually think, if I remember correctly, when Jason had sent the Orbiter V3 to me a while back, I don't believe these boards were even out yet. It was like before the 36 and everything was announced. USB-C cable. Man of the Croc, what's going on, buddy? Thank you so much for 14 months. A chicken pie. Winner, chicken dinner. So we've got a little bit of reading material, just sort of a flyer. Oh, that's cool. So it's actually useful. There's a QR code that'll take you to the assembly is broken down to easy bite-sized chunks. There's Discord, there's Facebook, safety notice, and disclaimer. So it's not just marketing material. There is a little bit of useful information on there. We have got, and I'm assuming will be our main board. That's kind of neat. So this does come with all printed parts, and I initially was like, maybe I'll print my own, but I want to see how the part quality is and how the parts sort of fare that they include. So this looks like, I'm assuming this is, I don't actually know. I would say it's in the board box, so it looks like you'd use it to mount your board, but I'm not entirely sure with the way this is. I see 4 holes, like you can mount it to something, but I don't see holes for the board, so I'm not sure if it's in a snap fit or what the what it is. Matthew, thank you so much for the 30 months. Best and most useful membership I have. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for the support, man. Hey, Clown. Yeah, the app doesn't have it. Yeah, tool changer with 3 heads. Yep. So not the most heads out of all, but for people that are wanting a tool changer for more like functional stuff, in my opinion, that's plenty. Like that lets you get, maybe 2 materials, and so like you can do large nozzle, small nozzle, support material, or 3 colors. Like it still gives you quite a bit of variation. But yeah, if your goal is just like maximum colors and you want a tool changer strictly for colors, then 3 might not be so many. But for all the things I want to play around the tool changer for, that's plenty of tool heads. So what is this? Does it say? Oh no, okay, this does make sense now. I'm a goofball. So it is a TFT This is the TFT 50, so it's a 5-inch touchscreen. Hey, RS, thank you, man, everybody today. Thank you so much for all the memberships. Thank you for the 5 memberships, RS. This makes a lot of sense now. And now this totally makes sense because I imagine the screen probably just snaps in or something like that. So it is not the P300 touchscreen fasteners. Yeah, it's not the controller. That makes a lot more sense. I thought it looked a little bit weird for a controller standoff. So I can't even close this because well, we'll leave that open for now. Let's see. We have got print head fasteners. So it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3 of these bags. I really like that these are separated. So every time you're building a print head, you just grab one of these bags and it has all your pieces. Let's take a look at this. I've seen the E3D tool changers from back in the day, but I'm not entirely sure how similar or different this is. I think that I could be incorrect, and I apologize if, don't quote me on it, but I feel like this assembly or this attachment and detachment method is sort of based off that or inspired by that. But if I'm completely wrong, then I'm completely wrong and I'm fine with that. But here is sort of I think it's a completely, and I could be wrong on this as well, but I think that the docking method and retracting method of the tool heads is completely mechanical. So we've got I believe these are, maybe they're not magnets, but the balls that sort of align. There's sort of a key, it's really nicely machined. There's a kind of a key looking thing where I imagine it goes in and it sort of wants to help turn it to the right. So these are gonna be how the tool heads sort of attach onto each other, which I'm super excited. I'm just really excited about this build, everyone. It's a completely new challenge, new thing that I have not had no experience with, other than, again, like I said before, sitting on the sidelines and kind of watching this whole thing. Hey, Kenneth. Rob, thank you, man, for the 15 months. Cheers, buddy. Let's see, we'll do, I wonder what's for dinner. I think it's chicken. I think we're making chicken today. I hope you are doing well. What is this? This is all wrapped up nicely. Something tells me probably metal parts. I did a little bit of cleaning last night. Not on this side of the studio, so you can't really tell, but my desk looks a little less chaotic and the other workbench is a little less chaotic. I hit a point where I was just looking around and I'm like, it is too messy up here. My brain cannot think very clearly anymore, so I'm really working hard to sort of just organize things. I seem to hit that point after so many builds where I'm just like, all right, man, like you've let things go far long enough. Okay, so yeah, these are some, it looks like this is like sheet metal that was bent based off of the, I don't know what these parts, what is the base price for this? I want to say it's 1,600. No, it's actually less than that. So the base price is $11.49. But that's with one, okay, so that's with one tool head. So base price, if you want 3 tool heads, is $15.52. Yeah, here's, let me show this really quick so you can see it. If I'm not blocking it, chat is blocking it. There we go. So yeah, base price, single tool head, $11.49, then 2 tool heads, $13.50, and then 3 tool heads, $15.52. And I don't know the difference between, so here's base, includes everything from the base kit, plus all 3 print heads. Okay, so I would assume that this would be the equivalent to that. So you have all 3 print heads. Touchscreen, so maybe it doesn't come with a touchscreen. I wish there was, oh, here we go. Let me see. Build guide can be found here. I wonder if this will show the difference between the 3 versions, because it looks like the image is similar. Well, clearly this version, maybe one of the big differences is this version you get the top hat with the panels. That looks to be the main difference. And I don't know, Revo printhead upgrade. Okay, so this one's Revo's. Okay, so it looks like the main difference between this one and this one is Revo's. 48 volts and 5160. So maybe this one you go from 24 to 48 volts and 5160 drivers. So yeah, so okay, here's what I think it is. And I could be wrong, but just looking at there. So the base version, you can get 1, 2, or 3 tool heads. If you get 3 tool heads, then that basically eliminates this add-on right here because you're already getting the 3 tool heads. So the main things this gives you, looks like, is from 24 volts to 48 volts and 5160s. So I'm assuming this is probably 24 volts and 2209s. Also touchscreen, since it says that, I'm assuming, although there's a picture of it, this doesn't have the touchscreen, and then the enclosure is one of the big things. And then the only difference I think between this one and this one is that you get the Revo print heads if that's what you want. So, but it looks like that you could, I don't think the base has the, yeah, it doesn't look like it does. But based off of what I'm seeing, it looks like if you started with the base, I don't know if they have upgrade kits, but I assume that if you reached out, you could probably just pay for the touchscreen. Or, I mean, the touchscreen is also, from what I'm seeing here, it's just a Big Tree Tech Pi TFT50, so you could source the touchscreen, and it's open source, so you'll have access to all the printable files. And then for some, I don't know how much shipping costs on panels, but usually it's quite expensive. So for some, maybe it makes more sense to just self-source the acrylic panels themselves, you know, domestically or wherever you're at. So here are some more printed parts. It looks like we've got a large auxiliary blower fan. We've got some carbon pellets here, so for the carbon filter. And then we've got some corner brackets, some printed parts. What does this say? This is like, I think mostly, oh, it might be some frame stuff as well. I'm not sure, this bag's not labeled, but it clearly has filter stuff and auxiliary fan stuff. And then there's a bunch of the hammerhead nuts here as well. 5160, 48 volts. Yeah, I think it's 5160, 48 volts. if you, not on this, I don't know, I actually don't know which version this is. So we'll see. Based off the fact that it has the carbon pellets, I'm gonna say that maybe there's an enclosure in here. So maybe this is the, I don't think it's the Ultra version. I think this might be the Max version, but we'll see. Like I said, I've had it for a couple months. I probably checked the new at one point and then just forgot. Hey, Typhon. I don't know what this is. Let's see what this is. I think there's quite a bit of metal parts in here as well. I mean, we've seen a few already. What is this? Oh, cool. Okay. So this, I believe, is how they're calibrating the offset from the tools. There's a ball, so it has a click. So I think it's going to basically be able to check Z, X, and Y via this ball. So the nozzles would come over to it. It's basically just a mechanical switch here. And this is a machined part, so it's an aluminum part, it looks like, that's been anodized. But I'm very curious to see how this works, because most of my experience with like IDEX printers has been some form of manual calibration. The exception to that, I think, was the J1, the Snapmaker J1 that had sort of a conductive pad that it was able to go with the nozzle and sort of set that, but I'm really curious to see how well this works. Have you played the remastered Oblivion? No, I haven't. I don't play a whole lot of video games, man. The exception to that is I did pick up a N64 off of John, Tripod's Garage. Wow, my brain. So I played a little bit of that. I did an HDMI mod to it, which I think I did successfully. It's probably some of the most challenging soldering I've done in quite a while. I kept thinking of Tuxedo while I was soldering, slightly judging my soldering, but I did get Tuxedo. You'll be happy, probably. I did pick up some of this for the job, which was very helpful compared to the flux I usually use. This liquid flux was a lot better, and I did my best with the temperatures. I'll show you a photo of it, but I did something very dumb. Because I wanted to see whether I had done it successfully before I put the case back on, I installed the jumper pack backwards, and I believe I shorted the power supply. So from everything I read online, there's a fuse in the power supply, so I don't believe I actually damaged the board, but it has not reset. So I have another N64 power supply coming. But yeah, basically this was the soldering I had to do. And it was tricky. That is some of the most complicated soldering I've had to do probably in a decade. I did quite a bit of soldering on mod chip stuff when I first started on this channel and broke quite a few things. But yeah, I think this was 19 pins and basically a super small iron and just drag soldering. Oh, no, Tuxedo. Sorry, I didn't mean that in a bad way. I know that, like, I'm all for constructive criticism. So I very much so appreciated the feedback when I was soldering, man. by no means a professional when it comes to soldering. So yeah, I didn't mean that in a bad way. I just, I meant more jokingly, like, you know, use more heat, you said, and use more flux. So I was just thinking the whole time about that. So yeah, I did a bit of, it was like drag soldering, where I basically had a lot of flux that I kept applying, and then there was kind of no way to avoid a little bit of bridging. So I did get a little bit of bridging, but I was able to basically clean the tip and clear it. And then I used my multimeter to check every single pin side by side for continuity, and I don't believe I shorted anything. So I felt pretty good about it. But yeah, it was a bit nerve-wracking at 1 in the morning sitting up here with my squirrel hands. So we'll see. I'm hoping it worked. That is some really difficult. Yeah, I was nervous, man. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. But I was like, you know, I watched a couple videos of people installing them, and a few videos on sort of that drag soldering technique, and felt pretty good about it. So, okay, we've got some grease. You said someone asked if did Makerbot send it to you? No, well, Makertech did. This is from Makertech, not Makerbot. But yes, they did provide it. Okay, so this is, I believe, this is cool. This is a beefy servo, DS3240. So I believe this is actually what's going to be, I don't know if this is in the tool head, and this is what basically turns the key to lock and unlock. I imagine that's probably the case. So I guess maybe it's not fully mechanical. There is a servo involved with docking and grabbing of tool heads. Soldering is my bread and butter. Man, if you were local, I probably would have been like, hey man, you want to solder this for me? But yeah, I will say, like, I'm not really afraid to fail so much in a lot of ways. So as much as obviously I don't want to destroy the N64, like, I learn a lot through failure. And so I you know, as much as I did as much research as I can and felt pretty prepared, and the rest is like you gain from experience. Granted, I could have probably tried on some dummy chips, but I don't know. So that looks like a Savix servo. I don't have a ton of experience with servos outside of the switch wire. The clicky dock on there is using a servo. That was fun. It's been some years since I did that. And then the recent project that I did, the Bamboo Lab Cyber Bricks, those had some servos. So yeah, that's definitely a much bigger servo than I'm used to. So here we've got all of our 2020 extrusions that we'll use for our frame. I'll take these apart in a second here, but for right now, let's just keep them together. And let's take off our first layer. Okay, so I do think that I was at least sent the version that has the enclosure, which I am happy about. I would like to be able to experiment with a wider range of materials. So this is just panels, which I'm not gonna really show everyone these now. I'll just kind of, let's see, place these maybe behind me. So we got lots of panels. We've got a magnetic flex plate system. So this looks like it's black powder coated PEI. Very nice. I'll place this there too. We have got our bed, which is not the thickest bed ever. At least not, you know, compared to sort of some of the crazier Voron builds we've done. I don't know what this is. I will check to see what the thickness is. We after much scolding, I did get batteries for the calipers just in time for this build. So let's see what this is. If I had to guess, just looking at it, I'm gonna say 8mm. Does that sound right? 6.5mm. I was a little bit overshot that. So no, not 3mm. It's 6.5mm. Yeah, 6.5mm. So it's not that thin. It's definitely not as thick as some of the plates I have. Like looking at my 2.4, that's a much larger plate, but it is 6.5mm bed. So that is this. It's got all of our holes. It looks like it's got, so this must use a oh, what's the word for the bed that sits on balls? Kinematic? No, not kinematic. What's the word? I just built one of these. It's the same kind of bed that the Doron uses. Somebody help me out here. What is the name for the bed that's free floating on balls, so that way it doesn't bow? Is it kinematic? No, I don't think kinematic's the right word, because the kinematic system is like the motion system. or the, I guess the printer type, like a Delta is a kinematic system, Core XY is a kinematic system. It's not Kirigami. I can't think of what the word is right now, and I'm a little I'm a little embarrassed. I don't think it's kinematic. Kinematic doesn't sound right, but I'll find the word. It'll come to me later during the stream, and I'll say it, or someone in chat will correct me, or someone watching the redone of this. So it is using a, looks like an AC heater. So it does include a silicone heater. I don't know what brand this is. It doesn't say Kinovo, so I'm not going to assume it's a Kinovo, but it's a 110 volt, 500 watts. So if you get the 220, of course, you'll get the appropriate electronics for it. And there's our silicone bed. So there's an SKR3 here. So you know what, we might not need a whole lot of, it's SKR3 Easy, which means it's using the easy drivers. I've been testing tool changing with a bunch of different materials. The costs rack up quick as soon as you moved on from the popular ones. ABS, oh, I bet. Yeah, Boron Trident uses the same kind of setup, but it's called a, I don't even know how to search it. Let's see. 3D printer, floating bed. It is a kinematic bed mounting. You're right, it is kinematic. So I wasn't wrong. It just sounded wrong to me. Okay, so yeah, it is a kinematic bed mounting. But for anyone not familiar, basically the bed is not attached rigidly. Like, you're not bolting the bed down and completely constraining it. And the reason why you do that is because if you're printing with, let's just say, ABS or something that requires getting the bed to a high temp, well, you know, like most all things, not all things, but I think most all things, as you heat things up, it expands, and as you cool things down, it contracts. Well, if you have it completely rigid mounted, as it's trying to expand, well, it's not able to. So instead of expanding evenly, it'll sort of create a bow in the center typically, which is not what you want, obviously, for 3D printing or most things where you need a bed that's flat. So by having it floating, it's still locked into a fairly constrained area where it can't get out of its little slots, but it's able to expand evenly and not, it's still typically going to have some form of bowing, but it should be much less than if it was rigid mounted. Yeah, it was kinematic. Thank you. I know someone else said that right away, but it sounded wrong to me. I don't think I've used this board. So I have used the easy drivers, and I do quite like them. But I don't believe I've used this specific board. So this looks like it's our main board. And I don't think we need a whole lot of hookups on this because we're going to be, looks like, using USB tool head boards for every tool head. So here's our board. It's got up to 5 of those easy drivers. And yeah, I don't know, not a whole lot to say. STM32H723. It's got USB, micro SD. And there we are. Hey, the man himself! What's going on? I said earlier, Steve, I was like, man, it feels weird streaming without Steve after streaming with Steve for a month and a half. Happy Wednesday, man. Hope you're having a good week. Okay, shoving this back in there for now. Bearded Printer! Hey, thank you so much for the gifted membership, man. Cheers. And Steve for the 35 months. I don't even think I was so excited to see Steve. I didn't even say that. Thank you very much for the support, everybody. Okay, so let's shove this back in here for now. I don't think I even got this flat. Come on, man. There we go. Okay, that is going back inside there. Man, I'm really going to have to figure out a place to store all this stuff. Okay, so it is using, interesting. So we're using an eddy. I knew it was an eddy current based off the fact that it says scanning, but we're using a Bigtree eddy V1.1 USB, which I'm really excited about because the only experience I have with this is very early on when we installed one on the Ender wire. And I know there's been quite a bit of updates since, and I'm curious to see whether it uses the Ender, or not the Ender NG, but the Eddy NG that me and Steve just used. I'm not sure that it does, but I'm very curious about that. So that's cool that we'll get to play around with that a bit more. And this is, okay, cool. So it uses a Pi 2. So it's using the Bigtree Pi 2. So we're going to be using this in place of our own Raspberry Pi. So you don't need, that's one thing I wasn't sure about, was whether I needed my own Raspberry Pi. So we have got a CPAP tube, which I did know that it used this, but I forgot, and now I'm excited again. So it's going to be loud, I take it. if the VZBot is any sort of you know, warning to what this will be like, then it'll be quite loud. And then this is funny, a USB 4-port adapter. So I'm assuming this is because for this printer we are using multiple USB boards. Maybe this is what they're going to be going into, or maybe this is for a combination of things like the, I think webcam. I think it comes with the webcam, perhaps. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. But yeah, it comes with a USB 4 extension adapter. The Pi 2 is a solid SBC suite. I don't know if I use the Pi 2. I have one, and I've covered it, and I've looked at it, but I don't know that I've actually ran it in anything. I think I'm running their first gen Pi in something, and I think that was sort of limited in terms of its specs. 3 for the toolhead and 1 for Eddie, maybe. Yeah, that could be, that's right, because it is, yeah, it could be, that could be the case. Let's just take these power supplies all out right now. So because this is the second version, it does have 2 power supplies. So this is our 48 volt power supply. I'm very curious about this because Steve and I were sort of just chatting the other day about the VZBot, and both of ours have some pretty crazy artifacting, and we kind of believe it's a combination of the voltage with the steppers or drivers that we used on that build. So I'm curious to see sort of what VFAs are like on this build, but we do have a 48 volt, 150 watt power supply, which I'm assuming is going to be exclusively used for our 4 motors. And then we've got a much larger 24 volt. And what is that? Okay, the Meanwhile power supplies, that one was at least. So these are nice power supplies. There's another Meanwhile. So this is a LRS 350 24. So we got a 350 watt 24 volt, and the other one was, what did I just say, 150? Yeah, 150 48 volt. So 2 Meanwhiles. We've got 3 loose steppers that are just branded. That's kind of interesting. I didn't even know that BQ, I'm assuming they're probably white labeling these. I don't know that BQ manufactures them, but these are 3 BQ stepper motors, which are going to be for our bed. The bed is mounted at 3 points, and as far as I'm aware, we should hopefully be able to do tramming. I don't see how they wouldn't have tramming on this with Clipper. So those are just the motors for the Z, and then we've got 4 additional motors for our what was Steve, what do you like calling it? You don't like calling it all-wheel drive. We like calling it, what were we calling it? 4-wheel drive? All-wheel, 4 core? I don't remember. Me and Steve were talking about it. We had another name for it. I can't remember what it was. Hey people, gonna be helping Steve make noise. Hey Bill! Oh, that's right, it's Wednesday. I forgot. Steve said that you guys were gonna be doing some milling today. Quad XY, that's what we were calling it. That's right. So these are the LDO 42 STH 48s, which I want to say is what Steve and I might have just used on, is that what we just used on our build? Can I see one of these motors? Let's see. LDO, no, we used 42 STH 40s. STH 40s, and these are, what did I just say, 48? Yeah, so these are STH 48s, so not exactly the same motors, but LDO motors for the other 4. Is there more stuff in here? Is that, oh my god, there's still more. Oh yeah, the base, there's like sheet metal stuff. Man, I am really gonna have to figure out a staging area for all this stuff throughout this build series. There's a lot of parts. Probably purchased in bulk and rebranded. Yeah, I think so too, Tuxedo. I don't think BQ is manufacturing steppers. Okay, let's throw this over here. And then this is our bait. Oh my god, there's a lot of parts down there still to come. Okay, so this is our base. Let's take this out. I want to keep it nice, but I'll put it off to the side so it doesn't get scratched. Just gonna, is there an opening? There we go. I don't know if this is powder coated or just painted, but this is the base for this guy. Let me, hold on. Let me get the bag out of the way. At least I got a trash bag now I can use for things. So this is the, oh, this thing's big. This thing is really big. This is the base for this. So it's, are these just decals? It doesn't feel like decals. I'm not gonna try to peel them off, but it doesn't, it almost feels painted. So yeah, this is our base for, it's got a ton of holes on it for mounting. It's got the 3 slots for the motors to pass through. It looks quite nice. If you're not a fan of blue, then I'm sorry, but if you are a fan of blue, it looks quite nice. So looks like a baked That, you know, that could be it. It's probably not powder coated, but I definitely think that this isn't just painted on. So yeah, you might be right. You said a baked enamel plate. That's as good of a guess as I've got, so we'll go with that. Yeah, it's a nice blue. It's a nice blue. It's on brand with the Tic Tac I just built, so I'm feeling this is the season of blue, I think, for me. Okay, and then there's an absolute ton of stuff down here, which makes sense, but oh my god. So we've got another big another big section of extrusions and lead screws. So I don't know if maybe the first stack I pulled out earlier was for the top hat and this is for the base build. Because it has the lead screws bundled into it, I'm kind of thinking that might be the case. So if that's the case, I don't even want to open the top hat stuff until we get there, because that's going to just confuse me by having extra extrusions I don't need. We've got a ton of hardware. We've got a 32 gigabyte micro SD card. We've got some sleeving. We've got some, these are just sort of cable ties, and then the adhesive, like plastic injection molded cable tie anchors, a bunch of those. Oh, cool. Okay, that's pretty freaking cool. I like that. It comes with Loctite. It comes with 243 Loctite, which I think is the more aggressive stuff. So this, I guess I'm gonna be branching away from my purple Loctite for this stuff. So yeah, this is 243 thread locker. So it does give you that, which is kind of a nice touch. I don't think any build I've ever had has given you Loctite. Hey Luke, how's it going? So lots of wires, all of our, looks like a lot of our electronic wiring. I don't know if this will require any soldering or not. I do see on the ends of a lot of these, they don't seem to be crimped, but that could be because most of these are going into screw down terminals. I really don't know. But we've got beefy mechanical switches. We've got our AC inlet. It looks like some jumpers, and yeah, this is a power button. So there's a power button. Unlike on the Tic Tac that Steve and I just did, we can power it off without just pulling the plug. So here are some printed parts. Let's take a look at these. This is a very heavy bag for how small it is. I'm curious to know what. This is not. This print. What is this? So this is a trip. No, this is CNC'd. That's why this is solid. This is not printed. I was looking at it and I was like, okay, I don't really see layer lines, but when I scratch the edges of it, I can leave a little bit of a nail indent. I don't know what material. Yeah, it looks like legs. So you've got little like pegs that I imagine are going to slot into something. But yeah, no, this is not 3D printed. This was a solid. I was feeling it. I'm like, this whole thing feels very heavy, but it's because it's 100% solid. So LDO gives you, yeah, that's true. LDO does give you a little bit on the set screws. So yeah, these are all milled parts. I have no idea what material this is, whether it's ABS or another, I don't know. I really don't know what this is. I don't think it's cast. Or are you saying, is it cast plastic that was then CNC'd? That's possible, yeah. But yeah, you can see, like, let me see if I can show it ever so slightly. It's kind of scratched up, but if I look closely, I can see the tooling from where it was manufactured. So it's definitely completely solid. And I wonder if this entire bag is that way. No, there's some printed parts in here. So this is definitely a printed piece. Yeah, this is definitely a printed part. It looks okay. I wouldn't say it's incredible, but it looks fine. It's got some, the top doesn't look that great, but I imagine it'll still probably be fine. But a lot of the stuff in here, this is printed as well. So this is our CPAP, looks like where the CPAP will attach to and then blow. This looks all right. This doesn't look too bad. So yeah, there's a combination of printed parts in here, and then it looks like those four legs are definitely not printed. They're milled. Looks like Delrin. Yeah, it could be Delrin, I suppose. I feel like the only Delrin I've ever used was like a brownish color, but that doesn't mean that. I'm sure it comes in all colors. So yeah, it could be Delrin. I know that's a popular material to machine. What is this? There's a lot of parts to this, everyone. Okay, so it does include a camera. So this is a small camera. Yeah, it might be cast iron. Pegs for alignment with extrusion slots. Yep, that makes sense. So this is, it almost looks like a Pi cam. It says it's a HBV cam. So there's our little camera. I don't think the camera is used for, I could be wrong, but I don't think the camera is actually used for any sort of like tool changing alignment. I think this is strictly for monitoring, but it's nice to have. I really like having a camera on my printers, even if they're in the same room. But yeah, it's nice having a camera. So there's a camera. It looks like we've got, is there another servo? Yeah, so there's another big servo in here. I don't know what the secondary servo is for, but there is another servo. What are these guys? Are these our drivers? So here's 3 of those easy drivers. I'll pop one open. These are pro drivers actually. So these must be, let me peel this off really quick. These must be the 5160s. Because these are unlike the ones I've seen before. These have metal heat sinks on them. Let me peel this back. Yeah, these are definitely different than the easy drivers I'm used to seeing. So there's a little like metal shield. Why are we not focusing? There we go. Little metal shield on it. And then a heat sink on this side. Is there any? These say 2209s. So these are 2209s, these 3. So I'm wrong about that. These 3 are not 5160s. So these must be for the, I'm assuming these are for the Z. What is this then? Are these 5160s? RGB? What is this? I don't know what this is. EZ51. Oh, okay. Okay, this, I can't read. These are the 5160s. EZ5160 RGBs. So these are the ones that have RGB, I think, built into the drivers, which I don't think we'll actually be able to see once this is assembled because it's not a clear bottom case, but we'll take a moment to ooh and ah at the RGB. Page has 40 volt power supply, so we gotta get the heat controlled, yeah. So yeah, these are much beefier. So there's a complete aluminum, like housing on it for the heatsink, and then there's a much larger heatsink on here. And then I don't know. I think you can't really see it because it doesn't look like there's a diffuser, but I believe at the top of this there are RGB LEDs. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I remember seeing that. I don't know if the RGB on these are just programmable so you can set them to however you want, or if the RGB is for monitoring temperatures where like if there's an issue or it's getting warm, it goes from green, yellow, red. But I thought I remember seeing that at one point, but I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, double-sided heatsink, yep. So these are for the 48 volts. So there should be, I want to say we should have 4 of them. I only see 2 in this little, I only see 2 in here. So that'll be interesting. We've got an SSR, we've got what looks like a heatsink fan, and then what is this guy? Doesn't the easy RGB in them only change for air? Oh yeah, I think that's the case. I think that might be the case. It's been, is it a buck converter maybe? It's been quite a while since I've looked at these, but when they first came out, I think I remember seeing that they might be strictly for temperature. This feels heavy. I don't know. Is it a power sub? No, what is this? Yeah, it is a buck converter. Gotcha. So it takes 24 or 12 volt in and outputs 5 volts. So I don't exactly know what we'll need this for because I would assume that the Pi 2 is going to take 24 volts. So I don't know, what would we want this board for? Maybe there's a different board that needs it. I don't know. I'm not sure offhand what that's going to be used for. So we'll see. But yeah, the part count on this is getting a little ridiculous. I'm very much so going to have to get this under control. So we've got our linear rails, which are not very wide. These are fairly skinny linear rails. Where's my scissors? There they are. Green means go, red means dead, yellow means order replace. Yeah, hopefully they'll be fine. I plan to just sort of set whatever values are recommended by the manufacturer. I'm thinking that because this is like a manufacturer's kit and their printer that there's going to be a profile that's pretty close to what's correct. So we got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rails. And they all appear to be the same as far as width goes. Man, going from Tic Tac to this, these rails seem so small. I mean, they are small rails. I can tell you that right now. But from Tic Tac to this, they are even more small than I think they would appear if I hadn't just built the Tic Tac. So these are, looks like 9mm rails. Yeah, 9mm. So 9mm rails is what we're using for everything on this. Okay, let's get all of these, and I'm probably just going to throw them off to the side here. We are finally getting towards the bottom of this. We've got another metal part, pretty large one at that. This one also seems like it's got that same sort of baked treatment. Oh, this is pretty freaking cool. So this looks like it's the back plate for everything. Like this, I'm assuming this is sort of for wire management for the 3 different tool heads. And then we've got a motor mount, and then I don't know what'll go here. I'm assuming sort of the docking stuff. And then maybe these are the attachment points to the extrusions, but this is pretty cool. So this is a big old, I'm imagining this is steel. This has got to be steel. Let me get my, maybe it's aluminum. I mean, there's some steels, right, that aren't magnetic, but maybe it's this aluminum piece and not steel. But it looks like it's bent aluminum. You can kind of see there's a slight bow right there where it bent, but it's pretty minimal. So yeah, more metal pieces. I will place this on the ground. If I step on that, it will destroy my life. Great. And then we've got a couple more baggies in here. Holy crap, there's another huge fan in here. Okay, I think that's everything. Let me just verify before I chuck box to the side. Nothing there. Yeah, that's everything. So let me take this die-formed aluminum sheet is what Tuxedo's saying. I don't think Jackson's gonna be able to visit easily today. Let me throw this over here to give him a path. There we go. Okay. All right, let's see what else is here. You think it's powder coated? I guess it does have quite a different, it does have a very different sheen to it than the blue that you said was baked. But I don't know enough about the different processes to be able to easily distinguish the two like that. So there's another monster fan. So I'm thinking that maybe it's not CPAP, but this is probably, so I think the other fan we saw is the auxiliary fan, and this is the tool head fan. So I'm going to assume that one of the ends of the CPAP tubing is going to pop onto here, and then that tube will run to the tool head. So this is a very large fan. It says, it doesn't say GDS time, dual ball. I don't see a size on it. It's monstrous though. Matte and very uniform, no orange peel at all. Gotcha. So typically powder coating is matte is more common that you'd see matte. These look like anti-backlash blocks, which I haven't used these in quite a while. So I'm assuming these are gonna be probably for our Z. We've got stiff bed mounting screws. These are interesting. I think I've used these like once a long time ago, but if I'm not mistaken, their main purpose is for dampening. So it's going to bolt into a motor. So a motor will go through here and it dampens the motor. I can't remember, is this strictly for noise purposes? Or is there another benefit that these serve? Is this all-wheel drive? It is all-wheel drive, yeah. I haven't played around with these in a long time. I know noise dampening is like the main thing, but I don't remember if they serve any other purpose. They should absorb some of the vibrations, which I mean is part of the noise dampening. There are very beefy heat sinks. So there's 4 of these. I'm assuming these are going to go on all of our steppers. So I do like that it seems like they clearly put
quite a bit of thought and detail into the cooling aspect, which is going to be very important for longevity. This looks like just a standard 6mm belt. Some more corner pieces. We've got some pulleys, we've got some bearings, we've got some wires, and a really big, a single red spring that's even stiffer than the yellow. No idea. And are these? So there's not a lot of printed parts for anyone that's curious. I mean, I think the only printed parts I've seen so far are the screen mounting. And you know what? These must be, this is kind of cool too. So anyone that's seen my 2.4 lately knows that I've been having issues with my wires sagging, and that's not an issue of the 2.4. That's a user issue of me not basically having something stiff or routing the wires well. But these look like they're probably going to be for each of the tool heads. I don't know what material this is. It needs to be quite flexible, so I wonder if it's a nylon. But these look like they're going to be for the tool heads to sort of keep the wires up and out of the printer's way, because I did see a few more of these. So that's what these are. Dampeners were supposed to originally be vibration. Gotcha. Yeah, I thought they were mostly for noise. And this looks like it's all CNC parts. So we've got, are these large? These look like spider couplings. There's a lot of stuff with this build that's quite new to me, everybody. So I am excited. No, these aren't spider couplings. These are, what are these? Oh man, they have a funny name, don't they? Oh, I cannot remember the name of these couplings. It's not spider though. I've used them once or twice before. Does it not go in like that? It should. Wow, that is tight. That's it. Oldham coupling. That is a very tight fit though. I thought that these are supposed to slide a little. Maybe they don't need to have that much. So it looks to me like basically the top and bottom, these are clearly machined aluminum pieces. And then the center piece is the same material as those leg standoffs, which we think might be Delrin. So yeah, that's how they'll go. But I thought they were supposed to slide a bit more than that. This is very stiff. I mean, I imagine with the machine, you know, like the motor, it could probably move it, but this is a lot stiffer than like the brass one I've used in the past. Well, yeah, very interesting. So we got 3 of those. I don't know what this is. This is another little metal arm. I don't know if I want to go through every single baggie, but it's kind of neat to look at some of this. Got some anodized blue pieces. I wonder if these are, no, I don't know what these are actually. They are wobble killers. Yeah. So we have backlash nuts, wobble killers, and dampeners. So there's definitely a lot of stuff. These are, yeah, there really is not a lot of printed parts. It's mostly aluminum. It's a lot of aluminum. This looks like it's another motor mount. So I'm assuming this is similar to what Tuxedo just said, where it's a powder-coated aluminum piece. It feels identical to that backplate that I just saw. So this is another motor mount. We've got some sort of a pin. It looks, since it has a hole at the end, it looks like it's kind of a locking pin. I don't know offhand at all what this will be used for. VCore has them, Mini 1.1 has them, really slick. Okay. I don't remember the V-Minion having it, but it's been years since I built it. This looks like, I don't know, another metal piece. I'm not gonna go through all these right now because we're gonna be looking at them later on. Let's take a look at this because this is pretty cool. So this is another one of the, I'm thinking this might be the primary piece that just permanently attached on the tool head, and then the 3 bulb mechanism we saw will basically slot into this, and then a key will insert with the servo and turn it to lock it in place. But these look really nice. Yeah, these look really good. Is it a bearing? No, there's not a bearing. It's just a. This piece looks really cool. It's a nice piece. Is there anything else in here, or should we just move on? More piece, more piece. No, it's a lot of the same stuff. So let's take a look at the instructions. I think they're using Dazuki as their instruction platform. It's going to be interesting spacing this all out. I think my quartz is large enough to assemble it on here, but it's going to be after the stream is done today, it's going to be a process trying to figure out where I can put all this stuff. Okay, so let's take a quick look at desktop. So here are the instructions, and yeah, it is using Dazuki, which I think is what, I could be wrong, but I think that's what Prusha uses as well. So is there anything we missed in the unboxing? You should find the top, extruders, toolboards, middle layer, bottom layer. The kit comes with a set of Allen keys, cable. I didn't see the. Oh, it must be in the same bag as the thread lock. Thick lithium-based grease for longevity. If you're building with a regular SO3 printhead non-reveal, then you will also need a spanner for hot tightening the nozzle. We recommend picking up a set of high-quality keys, community and support, known issues. Some people may be missing a M520 button head for use with the nozzle calibration probe. One should be easy to source from hardware store. And then frame. Sweet, okay. So the thing I'm curious about though is, I had mentioned there's two different stacks of extrusions, and I'd like to not open the one I don't need. So I think that it's maybe a safe assumption that this is, well, in terms of durability, you're there only a handful of printed parts, so nothing to really wear out. Yeah, but there is also some additional factors when it comes to having high levels of rigidity. There's less dampening, which, I mean, I know that it seems like they've done some things to sort of help with dampening, but it also means that, like, you've got to, it's a little less forgiving as far as the build goes in terms of making sure everything is correct, because metal parts are going to be less forgiving. So, but yeah, I'm hoping that this is all of the parts we'll need for the frame, and that the other stack is the other stack is for the top hat. So I'm basically going to get all of these out, and we will. So here's our 3 lead screws for a Z. We'll just place these. I don't know where the heck to place them. We'll place them here for now. And there is quite a bit of metal shavings, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move. Let me change the camera really quick. I'm going to grab that box I threw on the ground and use that as my trash is already overflowing, so I'm going to use that to drop these peels from the extrusions off into there. I think if I just keep it like this, I can just throw them over my desk as I peel them. There we go. This plastic sticking to my foot. Okay. Alrighty. So let us do this. Hopefully most of the metal shavings sticks to the sticky covers. Seems like that's mostly the case. There's a little bit left over, but okay. One extrusion. Definitely freshly drilled. I just don't want little metal shavings all over the floor. That's not fun for anyone. So I have a question for everyone. I know that I have seen lots of conversation and debate in the 3D printing space, and one of them has said that they feel like tool changers are the future. I'd love to know what your opinions are on them. I've got my opinions, which I'm happy to share, but I'm curious to know whether you guys in chat think that's the case, and if so, why, and if not, why not? And then I'll share my perspective. It's such a fun transition. Like last night, I'm out gardening, you know, with my hands in soil, and now I'm building a tool changer. Like that's I feel like such a random. And then I'll be playing with trading cards later. Like just random hobbies I have. the question was, do you think that tool changers are going to sort of be the future for 3D printing as far as the direction that more and more machines are going to go? Especially when it comes to, I guess, multicolor and multi-material. And if so, why do you think that? And if not, why do you think that? I'll let it go for maybe 5 minutes here, then I'll start ranting. All the shavings. I like the idea of tool changing. I like the idea of tool changers more. A tool changer can do everything an MMU can, but the MMU can't do everything a tool changer can. I've been using AMS on my Bamboo for a couple of years. I really want a tool changer for my 2.4, assuming I ever finish building it. Dono says yes. Zadi says, I think high temp will be mainstream first. Nice says tool changers are nice, but I hate combo machines like H2D with laser and printer. Yeah, I don't consider, I have the H2D nice, and I really like it a lot, but I don't have the combo version. I realize there's some aluminum shavings in this. I will need to clean that. It looks like, I'll keep my lookout for that. Yeah, I don't consider that so much a tool changer. Yeah, I consider that more of like a 2-in-1 or 3-in-1. I do agree with that. I'm not really a fan. I think that Bamboo Lab has done a better job of it than some of the previous ones I've seen that were really jank, and I've used a couple. But yeah, I'm still not generally a fan of that. I'm inclined to think multi-head will be the future as opposed to tool changer. I think that the AMS will ride for a time, but eventually, a year or two, tool changers will be one of the new norms. Of course, we are still having issues getting cameras as a standard, so who can say? Jackson! Hi! Is that a burrito? Yum. Sorry. There's a lot of parts to this. Look at this. God. Thank you. Hi, Jack. No, it is on. It's on 72. Oh, careful. You want to come say hi? You want to sit on that? Yum. Hold on. Careful the camera, baby. You gonna sit and say hi? You gonna stand? Oh, you say hi? Those are scissors. Yes, thank you. Oh, yes, that's dangerous. Yes, your little fingers. What do you think? That's a lot of parts. Yeah, what do you think about all this stuff? Does this look cool? Those are extrusion. There's little metal shavings on there, Bubby, so I don't think you should play with it. But when this is done, Daddy should be able to make you some pretty cool stuff. Remember how Daddy said he was gonna make you some like stencils for your Play-Doh? Maybe we'll make some cool Play-Doh stencils on here. That's a stepper. Can you say stepper motor? Step, yeah, not bad. Not bad, dude. Step. This is also stepper motors. Look, watch. Stepper motor. Those are the wires. I need those. Can you put that back in there? Put it back? Because if we lose these, Daddy will be very sad. You say hi, everybody? Yeah, that's aluminum extrusion. You gotta be very careful with that. It's not a stick. No, not a stick.
Just wave hi.
Can you say hi? Hi, he's very excited. Hey, you know what today is? Today's swimming day, right? You gonna go swimming today? Yeah? You excited to go swimming? Huh? I think so. You gonna swim with Mom today? Show her how you swim? You say hi. Everyone says hi, Jack. Yeah, you hit my hat. Yes. That's my microphone, big guy. Okay. Okay. I love you. Thank you for my burrito. Careful when you walk out. There's a lot of stuff on the floor, okay? It's a little bit of a danger zone right now. Did you see that I cleaned my desk though? I spent like an hour and a half last night. Yeah, and then I cleaned this area. This area is my next disaster to clean. I'll see you later, okay? Daddy's gonna build this. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Everyone says hi to you too. She says hi. Okay. Okay, so here's my thought on tool changers. I think that there absolutely will become more of them and become a bit more of a, I don't want to use the word standard, but I do think that there will become more of them. The biggest reason I don't see them becoming as mainstream is strictly cost. Complexity is part of it, like not necessarily the build, even though I'm sure that's going to be complex, but just the like, until there is more automation in it, I think that it will be sort of reserved for those that are kind of a little bit more deep into 3D printing and doing sort of, you know, the building side of things. But I do think that we'll see more of them. The biggest, like, this is, so the version I have based off of what I'm seeing here is $1960, so $1,960, which is a chunk of change. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely a chunk of change, but compared to what tool changers would cost or had costed prior, there really wasn't a lot of options, and they were quite a bit more expensive than that. So the price is going down, and I anticipate, like most things, that as assemblies are simplified and parts are more standardized, or if you know someone's able to mass produce more, that we'll see more of them. But in a changer, if one fails, you can still keep going. Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely benefits. I've been really interested in tool changers for a long time because I do see the benefits. One of the biggest issues, honestly, was less hardware related, even though the hardware certainly is a big challenge, and it was on the software and slicer side. It's similar to, I know Stefan just shared a video, and I need to actually watch it, but it was non-planar slicer. So a lot of the issue seems to be like, you know, someone can create the hardware, but if there isn't software to support it, then what good is it really? So we're seeing more and more things being created for tool changers and multi-color, multi-material printing. And so I think that as that continues to mature and evolve, it will make more companies like, it'll make more companies like Makertech more inclined to make things like this because they're more accessible, more usable. But yeah, I'm really curious to see the tool alignment side of this thing, because that's always been, even with IDEX printers, like a big pain point is having to manually align and calibrate every single tool head. That's just sort of tedious, and if something gets thrown out of whack, then you have to sort of redo that whole calibration. So let me really quickly, hold on, just step over here. Delilah, hey. Can you not lick your paws? She's up here licking her paws, hiding from downstairs. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick sip of my water, and then I'm going to have a quick bite of this burrito for just 2 seconds here. Erin made me a breakfast burrito, which sounds awesome. Calibration and alignment are essentials. Yep. So I will, hold on, 2 bites of this, and I'll continue my thought. I'm pretty hungry. So, it's really good. So I was really impressed with the Snapmaker J1 when I reviewed it, because it had the most automated IDEX out of any machine I'd ever used, and the price point on it, I think at the time, was like, I want to say it was $1,100 to $1,400, somewhere in that range. And I worked for 3 years and some change at Matter Hackers selling desktop 3D printers, everything from an Ender 3 up to a $10,000 printer. And just about all the IDEX printers we carried, to me, were a royal pain in the butt. Like, I got sent to a couple of shows with BCN 3D Sigma and Sigmax, and that was like a $4,000 machine. I think it was $4,000 for the Sigma, and Sigmax was like $6K or something like that. Getting those tool heads, just an IDEX, right, to play nicely with each other and be aligned was absolutely awful. Like, it was so finicky. And seeing that, I'm like, why would anybody, like, how can this become standard? Like, it's so difficult, and this is intended to be a machine that's just gonna work. But it's not, because the mechanics, like the motion system, I had no complaints with. The extrusion and tool heads I had really no complaints with. It was just that calibration and alignment was so finicky. It is like the most important part, in my opinion, of a lot of this, is that section of it. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how this goes and how that continues to evolve. I have a question for everybody though. What do you think is the best way to fix these? Hey Alan, looks like I missed. Oh man, you can. Maybe he'll pay a second visit, or maybe you can catch him on the replay. It was a short visit today. So quite a few of these, if I can focus. There's metal shavings, there's a lip to it. And I am concerned that one, the bolts won't go in as far down as it needs to. I think I've got about, I don't know, 8 of these that I need to clear out. Right now, my thought is to just get like a flathead. As far as bore and tool changer concerned, we have fully automated tool calibration now. What is the method you used, Vinny, for that? What's the method you used to do the calibration? I don't even know if I have a flathead up here. Let's see. That's a Phillips. That's a Phillips. That's a flathead. Oversized drill bit. Turn it with your hand. Yeah, it's a bummer. Some of these are not cleared out very well. I've got reamers. I wonder if that'll do the trick. Get a reamer? Gotcha. Okay, so let's see, what size hole is this? I don't know if I'll be able to actually no, that might work. I almost think I might need to hook this up to a drill. So I did ream that, but there's still a lip on the outside. I don't know if I can do this with my hand. Well, it seems like if I ream it, I can at least get it to pop out, and then I can use a flathead to kind of just pry it off. I'll definitely give some feedback on that to the manufacturer. Let's see. Yeah, this kind of sucks. Oh, there we go. I don't think inside will matter all that much. I don't want to do anything with the threads, so I think that's probably okay. I'm more concerned with it sticking outward, because I imagine I'm going to be bolting through these. So let me spend a little bit of time here and just clean these up. Oh, did I get the answer? I have a large twist bit that just fits the slot that sometimes works. Luckily, it's not all of them. I think it's like 4 of the extrusions, but it's still gonna take me a minute to just clear this. But I worry if I don't do this now, that once I go to actually assemble this, it's gonna be problematic. This one just looks like it's on the outside. Okay, that looks okay. Yeah, the only concern I have is with if the bolts need to pass beyond that. There's some aluminum in there, but I don't know if the bolts need to thread beyond that. And they actually, I don't see how the bolts could thread beyond that. Because if I've got something going in through here, it's gonna block that center cavity anyway, so I don't think it will need to go, hopefully, beyond that. We'll see. Okay, so there's one. Let me try to keep all the shavings here and just kind of slide them into the trash after, because if these get on my floor and on my foot, I will be sad. But yeah, it looks like it's just these through hole ones. We get spoiled by the beautiful extrude. Yeah. Chamfering bit. Oh, chamfering bit could work as well. That's an interesting... Do I have much concern about damaging? Let's see. I did scratch. The downside of this is I am scratching up the extrusion a bit. Like, I don't think it'll be very noticeable once it's all together, but I did scratch that up pretty good, like on the side there. I don't know if I want to do that. It's definitely easier. Try to keep scratching to a minimum. Okay, I think this side's good. At least good enough. Hey, Armor! This one looks okay. This one definitely needs some cleanup. Wrap some insulation tape around the deburring tool so you don't scratch the extrusion. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I feel like this is working okay. This little method. I think that's, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just, at least I don't think it has to be perfect. I just more so don't want, I mean, that's quite a bit, like, that's just from 2 so far. And I've got 2 more. Like, that's quite a bit of extra shavings that I don't really want inside that I worry could be problematic. So I'm just trying to at least clear out some of it, so that way, if there is any, it's inside and not outside, because based off what I'm seeing, I don't think that's going to be an issue. This one's not nearly as bad. Oh, there's a little bit externally. Okay, I think that one's good. Seems like more just pushing through is working quite well versus Alan and Mike, I'm driving, so I'll talk when I get home. Hey, sounds good. Yeah, it seems like pushing through is working all right. So, all right, last one. Hey, Shrimp. That should have been discovered during QC. I agree. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. Hopefully this is a not like, hopefully this is the exception and not the rule. But yeah, I'll definitely, oops, other side. I'll shoot them an email after the stream this evening and just say, hey, started the build today. I just want to let you guys know that the 3 holes on the extrusions had quite a bit of metal shavings that had to be manually removed. And see what they say. But yeah, I am in agreement that it should have been caught. If you have a smaller countersink bit, that might make cleaning up the gawk. That might... The issue is I don't have a whole lot. I really don't have a whole... I need to get more bits. I'm thankful I even have these, not deburring, these reamers. That was a Steve recommendation from a while ago. I don't know if it was when I was building the Merc or whether it was when we were doing VZ, but I've used them a lot. So okay, so I think that should be pretty good. I'm going to just sort of tap off any loose stuff that's kind of inside. Sorry if that's really loud. I am hoping my filter is doing a decent job. That was a big piece that came out. Okay, so I do not want to do that with my hand. So let me do a few things here. Grab my trash can. Ugh. And a paper towel, so I'm not touching it with my skin. Actually, while I'm at this, let me make sure I don't have any metal shavings on my hand. I'm gonna take one more bite of this delicious burrito. Okay. Alrighty. So now that we've got that, let's sort of organize a bit. You mean Steve hasn't coaxed you out of all of your money buying all the tools? Steve, there's definitely a list of things. It's not a list like a physical list. It's an in my head list of things that Steve's showing me where I'm like, I want that or I need that. But yeah, I haven't so far gotten all of them. There's still more metal pieces. Wish I had a freaking brush. Let's see. Okay, I guess I'm okay with like 1 or 2 shavings. I just don't want a bunch of metal shavings in my carpet that I'll never be able to get out. Okay, so these are the ones I just did. These should all be... make sure there's nothing else. That looks okay. There we go. Hey, Tor. Metal splinters. Yeah. I don't like splinters at all, but yeah, metal splinters are probably my least favorite. The extrusions look oily. They are a bit oily. Not, it's actually like, it's fairly dry. I mean, some of it's not, I suppose. They're a little bit oily. Yeah, they are. I feel like the extrusions, based off what I'm seeing here, could have used one more step, which is basically before they were covered in the plastic, is to clear out those holes and then give them a wipe down. That would really sort of like make them a bit nicer. So let's see how many different variations of extrusions we have here. So this is longer. So this is the same length as that. This is the same length as that. Okay, those appear to be the same. So it looks like we have 5 of that type, 4 of that type, 1 of that type. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 different types of extrusions. Let me see. It looks like all of them have threads on the ends, so that's a good thing. I don't have to really worry about... I've done that before where it's like, oh no, it's the right size, but it doesn't have threads on the end of it. Dust spray in the garage or compressed air. I need to get an air compressor. That's on my list as well. Steve got one. I think he's always had one, but he got an upgraded one last year, and it's something I want. The only thing I've got that's a for dust removal is like it's like an electronic air compressor. It does a really good job of removing dust. It probably would blow off metal shavings as well. But yeah, I'd love to have a small, even just a super small tank would be very useful. Favorite pair of pliers? I don't know that I have a favorite pair of pliers. None of the ones I have are, I mean, I don't know what you consider these guys, but these were a gift from Steve. I've got 2 of these. I don't think these would be, these considered pliers? These, I have 2 sizes of them. This is the one that definitely gets used the most, but these are incredible. They're quite expensive, but you've got this little lock mechanism where you press down and you can slide it, and then when you release it, it sort of locks in that area. And there's no teeth on them, which there's a potential negative of that is that, you know, maybe the teeth, like it's not able to bite quite as hard. But the huge plus side of that is you're not scratching the crap out of whatever it is that you're tightening. I use these all the time. I just used these actually I installed a hose bib off our irrigation line this last weekend. Finally, it's done. Yay, I poured concrete and I used these and it did a great job. So I use these for everything, these little Knipex. These aren't Knipex pliers, I suppose. So yeah, I think someone else called them something differently other than pliers, but yeah, Knipex is awesome, just not cheap. I hope I don't have to drill holes for my Trident extrusion when it arrives. I had to on my V0, wasn't pleased. Who did you buy your extrusions from? Was it a kit? You shouldn't have to. Okay, so frame. Prepare the following extrusions. So it says 420, nice. And 4 470s, so 420s and 470s. Oh, so I'm gonna assume these are probably the, yeah, so these are the 420s, and then I'm assuming the other, the 470 extrusions should be the ones without the holes. Okay, so I don't even have to measure, it's gonna be these 4, I'll measure, why not? These are actually not 470s. These are 464. Wait, no. These are 470s. Ignore me. Okay, yeah, it's these guys. The thing I don't know yet with this build is if there is a specific bag containing most all the hardware I'm gonna need, or if it's kind of spread out. Like, this is definitely motion and Z related. These are just metal parts. I'm gonna assume it's this guy. Probably this guy right here. And we're looking for, what did I just say? M5 by 10 button heads. So zip ties. Organization is going to be very key for this build. Okay, so it looks like all hardware is inside of this bag, probably. Knipex is good stuff. I've got 1 pair in my work bag that I've had 30 years. Yeah, everyone I know that, like, the only complaint I ever hear about Knipex is the price, which I get. They're not cheap. Steve got me them as a birthday present, I think 2 years ago, and I was really, really surprised, and I love them. But based off the experience I've had with other pliers, I would, like, now having them, I would gladly buy them. Like, if for some reason I were to lose these, which I hope that never happens, but if I were to ever lose them, I would absolutely buy another pair of them. Okay, so there's no mention of using Loctite for this. I don't think I normally use Loctite on the frame. I don't think I'm going to. I will definitely use Loctite on linear rails. I'll definitely use Loctite on all set screws. I don't think I'm going to use it for the frame. Hey, hon. Yeah, the burrito's really good. I only had a few bites. I'm trying not to, like, stuff my face too much right now, but I will do a few more. In defense the V0... Oh, FISEC. In defense the V0... Wait, why is your message moving? From AliExpress, and should have expected issues. Yeah, but if it's from FISEC and it's an official FISEC kit, you shouldn't have to drill out extrusions. I don't think I've ever had to do that other than on, like, a real, like, DIY build that I did, where it wasn't like a full kit. It was sort of like a community made upgrade. Let me turn off autofocus because I'm just gonna keep focusing on my hand otherwise. Let's see. Let's get you guys in focus. Where's the focus ring? Nope, that's not focus ring. Wait, I am confused. Why is the... Did my lens screw up on me? I cannot adjust the focus ring anymore. Oh no. Hold on. I wonder if this lens died on me. I can see that it's not fully... What happened? Okay, let me power this off. Give me 1 sec, everyone. I can't tell if the lens is like coming apart. Looks like the housing is... That's really bizarre. It's definitely kinked. And I don't know if it's just a... I don't know if it's just a thread. It's not a cheap lens. Or if it just needs to pop back into place. Oh, there we go. I think I got it. It snapped back in. That's weird though. I don't know why it did that. It was working fine. I've never had issues with it. And I'm like, wait a minute, my focus ring is not turning. Okay. It has endured some abuse over the years. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, I turned it off, that's why. There we go. Okay, so now I should be able to focus. There we go. That was weird. Okay, so this is saying to install screws into all of these. So hopefully we won't have any issues. How much exposed? It says leave around 3 to 4 millimeter gap. So we'll just, I mean, these are gonna slot in, so I'll probably have to adjust them a little bit more later. You know what? Yeah, we'll do it like this. Did I elbow it? I don't think so, man. I feel like I'd have to elbow it pretty dang hard to pop the shell on it, but in its defense, it has been dropped. And that might be from the most recent drop that happened. But I thought that the camera fell backwards, not forwards in that case, so I don't know. But yeah, lenses are not cheap. I mean, that was, like, that's considered a budget zoom lens, and I still think it was like $700 just for the lens. But I've had it for, probably had it for 3 or 4 years now, and I've used it in all sorts of strange scenarios between light burn and the, you know, streams and stuff. But I'd like to not replace it for another 3 to 4 years. First build, I cut all the extrusions myself. Oh man. What was that build? I still have not cut extrusions. I have a miter saw and I have a bit on it. I don't know what it's called. It's like the devil blade or something like that. And I still haven't done it. I have cut aluminum though. There is a piece of aluminum, not as thick as an extrusion, but it's sort of like a U-shaped extrusion that I needed for a fence, for our fence build that I did, or for the fence build I did, and I did cut that, and it was so smooth. I haven't really had a need to cut an extrusion. Diablo, that's it. I'm like, it's like a devil blade. Yeah, you're right, RS. It's called Diablo. I was like, I know it's red, and there's like the icon is. I think their icon is like a devil, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm imagining it. Well, so far the threads seem nice and smooth. I think that one's a little too close. Cutting 2040s stacked. Oh my god. I would start with a single extrusion. I didn't grow up using tools. Like my dad had tools, you know, obviously like basic hand tools, and I remember he had a jigsaw and a skill saw. And those are the only saws I remember, like, you know, him having, really. He has a miter now. I think did he get the miter before or after me? He might have gotten it after me. It's the same Ryobi one, and he's used it quite a bit for repairs on their house when they were doing their siding and stuff like that. Yeah, I just don't have much experience with them, so there's like a little bit of fear in that regard. Like I've heard and seen what can happen with machinery if you don't use it correctly, and so there's a little bit of that. I would really love to go to, I don't know, some kind of a makerspace where they just do stuff with various tools, so I can learn kind of the correct way to handle them and things like that. It's just, you know, certain things I'm like, well, I can't really hurt myself that bad if I do it wrong, so it's fine. Wait, 1, 2, why do I have... Okay, I have one too many extrusions here, but I think that's not going to be an issue. What do you think is the best DIY printer for under 1,000 euros? Oh god, I can't answer that question. That is such a loaded question. That depends, like, what is best? I would need to know what the goal is, right? Like, what's the goal of the printer? And what's important? Like, large community, upgradability, multicolor, high temp. Like, I would need to know more than that. That was the one thing I enjoyed about when I was selling 3D printers at MatterHackers, was like, someone would call in, and it could be anyone from like a hobbyist to a mom and pop shop to a large company, and they'd basically, you know, hey, I've got a budget for a 3D printer, you know, this is what we're trying to do, and like being able to break it down based off that. But I can't remember, it's been so many years, but I basically had a list of questions, like, these are the things I need to know, like, how big does it need to be dual extrusion? Why does it need to be dual extrusion? Does it really need to be that big, or can you split up the parts you're trying to manufacture? Obviously cost is a huge factor because that limits it, but hey Benny, I think you've been here for a while, Benny, but I'm just now seeing your name in chat. I'm in the process of joining i3 Detroit Makerspace. Really want to learn wood CNC. That's so freaking cool. Yeah, when we moved out here, because I'm from California and there's quite a few large ones out there, which of course when I had access to them I never took advantage of them, and now that I'm out here, I looked, and it's been probably 3 years almost since I've looked now, but when I looked, the only ones in our area were like, they had pottery and a few other things, like, but not sort of what I was looking for. And I think that there was one makerspace, if I'm not mistaken, makerspace or hackerspace, whatever they called it. I think it's in Boise, which isn't awful. If I don't go during commuter hours, I can probably get there in 30 minutes, but during commuter hours, it can be pretty rough. But I always feel like I have an excuse. Like when we first moved out here, it was like, oh, well, it's kind of far away. We don't really know the area, and we have a baby on the way. Now it's like, we have another baby on the way. But yeah, I would love to take some courses. There's a lot of things I'm interested in. Like, I mean, obviously all sorts of CNC stuff, but welding, some more electrical stuff, just general stuff with saws. I would love to learn more with woodworking, of course. Like, there's just a lot of things I'm really interested in. I'd love to take some classes. First build was the Piper. Oh, I remember the Piper. That's actually really funny, nice, because my first build, it wasn't a 3D printer build, but it was back in 2015. It was the MPCNC, and I had to cut down EMT conduit as well for that. So, what did you use to cut it? If I remember, I think I just used a hand pipe cutter, like marked it with a Sharpie and did my best to sort of spin it around and cut it. Okay, building the frame. Oops, what did I just do? Okay, let me go here for a sec. I'm gonna have one more bite of my burrito. I'm gonna have 2 more, I lied. I'm having 2 bites of this burrito before it's cold. Oh, that's cool. You have the lowrider. Yeah, Ryan from V1 Engineering, the creator of their project, super cool. I met him online. I don't know how the heck I stumbled across this project because it was in its infancy. but he's just a really cool dude. And I've gotten to meet him now a couple times at shows, and I interviewed him some years back, man, many years back actually, because I think we were in our second apartment, Aaron and I. But yeah, he's a rad dude, man. I really like Ryan. I'm back home, nice. We're working on the ProForge 300 tool changer, man. And there's a lot of new things for me here. So build the frame is shown in the diagram. So these are gonna be the ones I'm imagining that I cleared the holes out of, because we're gonna be going through those holes to basically do these blind joints. Wait. Okay, no, that makes sense. Yeah, so blue, blue, green, green, gotcha. So these look like this is the shorter side, the blue, right? Let me see. Yeah, blue's the shorter side. We're aware of the initial batch of extrusion. Oh, did you see this? We're aware that the initial batch of extrusions have some QC issues where the hole is not drilled cleanly. We've raised the issue with our manufacturer. If you have an extrusion where the hole is not clearly drilled, we recommend re-drilling with a 5mm bit. That's funny. It's not funny, but like at least they're aware of it, and they've, you know, I like that they have that. So maybe I won't mention it to them, or maybe I'll still mention it, but I'll say, hey, I know I saw in your documentation. Yeah, I'm super excited, Armor. Are you gonna build a top cover of the printer? I am. I don't think I'm gonna build the top cover now. I'm gonna do it in order. Yeah, it is still concerning, but I am at least happy that they are aware of the issue and are mentioning it here. Drop the extrusions that you prepared in the previous steps into the grooves of the 520, use an Allen key to the holes. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of, I have one extra view for some reason, and I don't know what you're for. You're probably for the Z maybe. So I'm gonna put these extrusions on the ground, and then we've got, these are for our 4 corners. We'll need all those, and then we'll need 2 view and 2 view for right now. Okay. Let's put these on the ground. All right. So let's see how much space we've got. So let's do this here and this here. I'm probably gonna have to push everything over. I can already sort of feel that. Here, God, there's just a lot of stuff. But you don't want to lose anything. That'll be my mission after this stream today, is to figure out a place for all this stuff while we're doing this build. All right, now see that's, I don't know if you saw that, but something fell off the table. God. Oh, definitely a different beast than than the Tic Tac as far as space, which I was aware of. Just don't want to lose things. Okay, so let's throw you here. I don't think we'll need zip ties for a while. Loctite can go there. Big fan can go here. Okay. Okay, is that enough space? Maybe. I think that's just enough space. Okay, so cool. So I think I'm just gonna sort of stage everything in place. That is not sticking out long enough, or no, it's fine. Okay. Oh yeah, manual focus is still on. There we go. Okay. Okay. Oh, yep, one of these bolts is a little too tight. It's probably this guy. Yep. Okay. All right, we've got our frame a little loose. So I am going to, let's see, this is a 3mm. Why is the 3mm driver the only one that's missing? Oh, that's lovely. Why? That is very on brand. Okay. I have a ball end. I don't like using ball end for this kind of stuff. But I might not have another choice in this very moment. Okay, we'll just hope for the best. So I don't know where the heck my... So I'm going to be tightening. Yeah. It's gonna be weird with the camera angle too. So let me bring you guys like this. Remember that we spoke at Earth and I just hit 100 subs and now 40 subs? Holy crap, that's awesome, dude. Congratulations. Okay, this is awkward. There we go. That feels good. I really don't like using a ball end mill for this though, or a ball, not end mill, but ball driver. But we'll make do with what we got. Okay. Give me my driver. There we go. Okay, that seems pretty good. Where are your Fabrico? The Fabrico drivers are in my cup right here, and that's what I was planning on using, but I'm looking and I've got 1.5, 2, 2.5, then it jumps to 4. So I don't know where it could be underneath all this mess, but I don't know right now. I should own more than one set of ball and one set of flat drivers, but I currently don't, so. Looks pretty good. Hopefully I'll find it before next stream. It's got to be around. I use them fairly frequently, so. Please give me my driver back. Okay. All right, we lost a corner. That's okay. Okay. Feels good. Oh no! Is the elbow? No! Alright, I'll bring you guys down a little bit. I swear I put lotion on him last week. Yeah. There we go. Is that better? There we go. Now you got a hand stream. I never remember to put lotion on my elbows until like I'm streaming like this and I'm like, wow, that's a dry elbow. All right, give me my driver back, please. Jeez, all right. These are squaring up nicely at least. I do want to check this one more time. Zoolander hand model quotes. Jackson, when he was a baby, used to do. Okay, let's not do anymore because I'm starting to strip a little bit the ball, which we definitely don't want to do. Jackson used to do a face as a baby that looked an awful lot like blue steel. It would crack us up. He still sometimes does when he's really focused, but man, as a baby, like he had like resting blue steel face, and it made Aaron and me laugh all the time. No stripping on stream. Yes, yes, yes. Of course, man of the croc. This is the family stream. Okay. That feels good. All right, last one, then we'll flip it around to the other side. These are gardening hands, man. All right, well, hopefully I don't have to take these apart because I'm sure I stripped some screws, but I think I'll be okay. If I have to take them apart, I'm definitely not using a ball though. I'm gonna have to use a square. My hands do look surprisingly clean for playing around with dirt in the middle of the night. Okay, so we've got those. Now we need to get these four. So let's go ahead and move our blocks like this, like this. Chat's getting thirsty. It is almost summertime. Well, I guess it is basically summertime, isn't it? Winter, spring, are we in summer yet? When's the first official day of summer? Okay. So, short side is this side. So let's lift it up and drop it down. I definitely want to wipe down these extrusions. Okay. Okay. Try not to show my elbows now. Feel judged. Feel judged for my dry bows. All right, that's in. Say hi from Paris. From Paris. Hey, GPs. Are you out there for work or vacation? I hope vacation, dude. And if you're out there for work, I hope you're getting some you time, man. Oh, that one. Both sides lined up. Yay! I still have a 10-foot pile of... Holy crap! Where are you living, Dougal? Summer solstice is around June. Oh, wow, okay. So we still have a ways to go, apparently. It's been warm, really warm here. Okay, come on, buddy. All right. Wait, why are we not? Something is not. Oh, this side. There we go. Everything in? Sure seems like it. All right. Work, but I get some lovely and watching, lovely food and watching a stream, living the dream. Nice, man. How long are you out there for? I will say, like, even when I travel, because I used to travel a lot for work when I was with Matter Hackers, and like, although I'd work during the day, like I had nights off, so I'd always get like yummy food and get to see some of the sites. So it's like, it's work, yeah, but I still had downtime, which is really nice. Nunavut? What is that? Where's that? So I have a question for everyone, because you all live varying parts of the globe. Has this winter for you been worse or milder than normal? This is our 3rd year in Idaho, and I would say this has been the mildest winter I've ever experienced here. I had to shovel snow one time, but this last month has had so many warm days. I'm not used to that. The previous years, it was like still some occasional snow, some freezing temps at night, and a lot of rain, and it's been like, yeah, some overcast here and there, a little cloudy, but it's been really warm by comparison. We all go out in the evening, so turns out for long days. Yeah, I get that. That's nice though, man, especially when you're in a place like Paris. Like, I would have a hard time just going to my hotel room and calling it a night after the day. Okay. Give me my damn driver. There we go. It seems pretty good. I'm just gonna keep turning, I think. Well, yeah, I'll turn it this way so I can get the other side. God, I wish I had a little more space, just a little more space. Okay. Okay. That did not align the way I wanted it to. Did that do better? Yeah, that feels better. I'll loosen it one more time. Okay. Give me my driver, please. Okay, that feels pretty good. I live in Texas. What is winter? Okay, let me see. Only 200 miles from my... Oh, I missed a lot of stuff. Winters in the UK don't tend to get very cold anymore. UK, mild, yes. Winter is my part of Western New York. It was cold, but not much snow. Very mild here. It used to be called Northwest. Winter was super mild. I had to call it winter without snow. Okay, hard to call it winter without snow. I've only been in Georgia for 2.5 years. I don't have enough data to assess the winters yet. It's been a weird winter. Alternatively, warm, hot days, mild days. Don't have to worry about snow here in Australia. Yeah, I live in Texas. Yeah, I read that. I'm doing built it under 3. Nice. Yeah, so it sounds like most people had pretty mild winters then. So it's not. I wasn't sure like if it just is like the Western United States that didn't get hit, but it sounds like most everyone's had pretty mild winters. We're doing pretty good, man. Erin's definitely doing better than. Erin is definitely doing much better than the first couple months of the pregnancy, thank God, because that was brutal. Still has her like moments of not feeling good, but it's a lot less consistent, which is something that I know, yeah, both of us are very thankful for. We have our anatomy scan next Monday, so we are both pretty excited. That's probably an understatement. We're both very excited to find out confirmation of the gender of baby number 2. I don't think I told you guys, but we did do an ultrasound maybe a week and a half ago or so, and the doctor told us what he thought the baby was going to be with a 99% probability. But we met someone else recently that had a doctor tell them the same thing, and then at the anatomy scan, it actually was not what the doctor thought. So I don't want to say anything until we know, but hopefully next Wednesday I will be able to share with everybody. So How much is that 300? So it depends on what you config you want to go with. I'll show you really quickly because I think I still have it pulled up. So this particular config is 1960, so $1,960. But you have a few options. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe someone would want to get it as just a single tool and then add on after. But single tool is $1149, two tool $1350, three tool is $1552. And then the main difference between that and this one is with this one you get a 48 volt power supply in 5160s versus 24 and 2209s. You get a touchscreen, and then it's enclosed as well, which does greatly increase, you know, material compatibility as far as what you can actually do with it. So, but I would like to think you can upgrade these things later if you did want to start with sort of the one or two tool and not enclosed, to just to kind of get your feet wet and not spend, you know, that much up front compared to the full thing. But I don't know that for sure. I haven't looked for upgrade kits on the website, so I don't know that they exist, but I imagine they have to. And I did mention that the upgrades don't seem like things would be that hard to do yourself, since it is just like big tree tech products and, you know, acrylic panels and such. And it is open source, so you should be able to get the DXF files and all that good stuff from the step files if they're not already available in the GitHub repo. I don't know anything about the ProForge. Is this a new printer? So it's not really. It's actually a company from the UK, if I'm not mistaken, GPs. And they have done Kickstarters. So I've followed them on Twitter or X for quite some time now. But they've done a handful of Kickstarters that have all been successful. And I was very close at one point to ordering the ProForge 4, which is the sort of kind of predecessor to this, but also has some, like, it has more tools in this. So we go Kickstarter, ProForge. I'll show you guys this in a second. Let me just pull it up. So they have done quite a few Kickstarters. The company's been around at least since 2017 with the ProForge 3, and that's the 3, so I imagine they've been around for longer. But yeah, they've got 3, 2, I mean, these are, I mean, sort of small, dual extrusion stuff, but the main ones I followed was, I saw the 3 a little bit, but the 4 was the one that I was really watching, and the 300, which is this one here. So yeah, I don't know many people with them. I know that Ember Prototypes has a ProForge 4 that he backed, but I don't know that he ever actually built it. I remember him talking about, like, oh, I've got to get this thing built, and I don't know that he ever actually did finish the build. Oh, this is still loose. Okay, I gotta remember what I've tightened, guys. I'm like trying to is this too tight? Is that why I can't slide it easily? That's weird to me. It doesn't feel like that is. Wish there was a 4 Plus. Well, you could do the ProForge 4, which does have, what, 4 or 5, I think, right? 4 would be cool, but I was saying earlier, for just about all stuff I want to use a tool changer for, 3 is fine. But a lot of the stuff I want to use it for isn't actually a ton of multicolor. So I could see, like, if you plan on using it, oh my God, give me my driver back. Yeah, I could see if you plan on using it for a lot of multicolor stuff that, you know, having more than 3 would be ideal. Okay, so I think I've tightened all but this last corner here, so let's do that, and then I'll just quickly shove the driver in every section to make sure that I did indeed tighten all these bolts. But I'm pretty sure I have. Hey, is it Ludico or Ludiso? I don't know how you say it, I'm sorry. I'm really interested in seeing the enclosed solution for INDX. Yeah, I know I've heard mention that, like, because of the wiring on it, people are curious about how it will be, like, how difficult or simple it'll be to enclose. I haven't seen much about it. Like, I've seen, obviously, the post on social media, and I saw the V0 that was at some event. And I think that's about what I've seen. So one thing I will say, although having to clear out those pockets was not fun and shouldn't have been needed, this seemed to have squared up really nicely. Like I'm not seeing any wobble at all, which I can't say for all builds I've done, that's for sure. So I'm just gonna really quickly verify that none of these are loose. I'm pretty sure we've at this point gone around and tightened everything, but because I was talking and I'm a squirrel, I just want to verify that. Are they hardened nozzles? I don't know. If you're asking me, I don't know the answer to that. I would assume with Bondtech there at least be a hardened solution, but I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Gotta get more of those stones. What stones? Would be fine with it being docked at the top of the 2.4 with a tall hat. Is there an ETA on release date? Like, have they said when they're hoping that they'll be selling the product? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the giveaway too, just because we're a little over the 2-hour mark. Oh, and our first playlist just finished, so now we get to go to our retro 8-bit sounding music. Let me copy this. Ah! Also, hopefully it wasn't a surprise, and if it was, I wasn't told I couldn't share it. But I did an interview with Polymaker for Meet the Polymaker. It was not live because Joel's time frame and my time frame just didn't work with travels and work schedules and stuff like that. But yeah, we did an interview on Sunday, on Easter. So yeah, I'm really excited. It was a lot of fun. Sorry, it's not a surprise, is it? I don't feel like it is. They're usually announced. How did you come about this printer? They provided the printer, TPs. Yeah, they reached out to me probably 4 or 5 months ago, and I was pretty excited because I'd been eyeballing this for a while. I was like, maybe that's the tool changer I'll get. So yeah, they did reach out to me though. It is a sponsored, not sponsored. The kit is sponsored, but anything I say and my opinions on it, like that's on me. So it is a wide printer frame. I'm not a small person, so. Yeah, I'm not a very small person. I'm like 6 foot basically. So, okay, let's see what it's telling us to do next. I think it's so wide because, well, one, parking everything, but also it needs some space for the fan on the side. I'm curious. I imagine this is. Yeah, so this is how it's gonna be. It's wider than it is deeper. This is like if you were looking at the front of the machine. I mean, you're not small. Do you have to be in the Modbot Discord for giveaway? You don't. No, absolutely not. So if you don't have a Discord, like even if you have a Discord or don't have a Discord, doesn't matter. I don't know why I put that there, to be honest with you. It's been years now, and it's just like some people that win, like I'm familiar with you and like we've chatted in Discord, so sometimes I'll just like DM the person, say, hey, here's the code and link for the giveaway. But 9 out of 10 times I just end up emailing. So yeah, you can even put NA for Discord. It just needs something in that slot. Ah, so it is sort of trident-y. If you look at this, build 6 corner bracket assemblies using M5/8 and M5 T-nuts, and then we're using those 2 extrusions. So we'll definitely need to measure, make sure this is centered. Does it tell you? Well, I guess as long as this is centered and this stacks on top of it, then we'll be fine. So we are building corner brackets. Where are corner brackets? It's for a spool of Polymaker filament. Well, it's for a gift card, so technically you can use it towards anything, but I still say it's for a spool of Polymaker filament. But yeah, it's a global giveaway. I do give your info over to telemarketers though, so just be prepared. No, I'm just kidding. I delete everyone's info the second I send the winner the giveaway, so there is no... I don't see the corner brackets outside of that initial bag that had them, so I'm gonna assume that might be all the corner brackets. Was it in here? Yes, yes it is. What did Lisa say? Big question, did I miss... Oh, you did. Yeah, you did. He was, he napped early today. Aaron said he didn't actually go down for a nap. I was up here setting up for the stream, and she was resting for a little bit because I kept her up last night. I was tossing and turning. I went to bed at like 2. I tossed and turned till 4:30? No, 4. And then I was like, I think I need to take a shower. I'd already eaten at that point, and I was like, maybe I'll shower. And so I took a shower, and then I slept on the couch because I felt bad because I was keeping her up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, she was getting a little shut-eye this morning, and I was trying to give her an extra 30 minutes. So I got Jack up, thinking that he'd already, like, you know, slept and been awake, but she told me he never actually slept, so... yeah. The baby. The baby. There we go. Alright. Just open all these up. They're all individually wrapped, which is kind of nice. They are aluminum, so for the sake of them not getting scratched, I suppose. Except then I come around with my deburring tool and scratch it all up, so... I'm actually going to look to see if I can see what I scratched. It doesn't look bad. I don't know where that side is that I scratched. Is it this top corner? No. Okay. I'll build this as the back then. If one side had that scratch visible that I had created with the deburring tool, I was going to make that the back of the printer, but I don't... It seems like it must be somewhere on this side, or it magically fixed itself. I don't know. Yeah, we used to sleep with the TV on, but we sleep... now we sleep in darkness. I take magnesium. I might need to try magnesium. I suck at sleeping. Like, my whole life, man, my body and brain is weird, man. Like, I should be tired. I did stuff all day yesterday, right? Like all sorts of stuff, from some stuff outside to some work stuff to gardening things to what else I did last night? I cleaned a bit. I was getting a printer ready. Like I did all sorts of stuff. So, you know, 2 o'clock rolls around. I should be tired. I took these little like chewable, oh God, what's the stuff called? Come on, someone help me out here. The sleep stuff, not magnesium, but the stuff that nice you recommended a while back. That's it. Melatonin. And it seemed like it was helping when I first started taking it, but I've been using it now for probably a few months, and it doesn't seem to help anymore. I go through phases where sometimes, like at nighttime, I just get a ton of energy, and yeah, I can't sleep. Like I just don't get it. Sometimes there's nothing on my mind. Last night I kept thinking about everything, like nothing incredibly important, but I was just like excited about like gardening season's coming up, building tool changer today, thinking about this, I do that. Like my mind just starts thinking about everything. I'm like, can you not right now? I'm trying to sleep so I don't feel miserable for the stream tomorrow, but I don't know. I just haven't figured it out this far in life, so. Oh, cool. I like this. I didn't realize that they had the hardware separated by, these are all M5, these are all M4, and these I'm assuming are, okay, spacers and shims and M3. So they do M2.5, so things are broken up pretty nicely. I'm assuming this is probably the M5.8s. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we need 1, 2, so 2 per, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I got stung by an anemone last night. I don't know what that is, but I am really sorry. Getting stung by anything sounds awful. And what is that? What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm gonna look it up. Anemone? That's stung by... It's a flower? That's not right. A sea anemone? Anemone? I feel like the coral. Oh my god. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, that's awful. I know that my mom and dad went on vacation to Hawaii when I was a small kid, like a baby, and my grandparents watched me. And my mom, it wasn't an enemy, but my mom stepped on a sea urchin and had to go to the hospital and get a bunch of stuff pulled out. And like, it's not just the spikes, it's the like I don't know, venom or whatever. Like, oh god, that sounds awful. I'm sorry, man. I have no idea what that's like, but that sounds terrible. Ah. Unisom is the only thing that works for me. Huh. Erin, we have a bunch of Unisom right now because Erin's been taking that for her nausea for the pregnancy. This is why I sleep between 3 and 6 hours max every night. Yeah, my average is probably 4 to 6 on average. Looks like you're drinking from a moonshine jug. That will help you sleep. I don't drink very much, man. I have too much work that I want to get done, and like now especially, I'm just a lightweight. I can't have much of any drink and do anything like productive. So it bums me out. That's exactly what I'm like with ADHD. Medication helped a little bit. The sleep disorders are really common comorbidities. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people like that have various sleep things. So I know I'm not alone. It's kind of a bummer at times. And like, it gets to a point where if you haven't slept for so long and you're laying in bed, I kind of start to get upset. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to be awake, I'd rather get up and just do something. But that doesn't help you sleep anymore either. It's like a losing battle, man. I will say that on Saturday, when I moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, when I moved a ton of dirt with my dad, I slept like an absolute rock. So all I need to do is every single day move about 4 hours worth of dirt. If I do that, then I will sleep well. But yeah, so far I don't have a consistent remedy. Is there anything you can do, Phil, for the sting? Like an ointment or something like that? I don't know what it even entails. One of the reasons I shut down my marine aquarium. Oh, interesting. Oh wait, so it was an aquarium that got you? Like it was from a friend's aquarium? Also, for this camera, I'm just putting screws and hammer heads through these little triangles. You guys don't need a closer, like you don't need a close-up, right? This is probably close enough. I feel like if it was something complicated, I'd show it, but I'm like, I'm literally just partial screwing in things. Took me a few weeks to clear the driveway. Oh my god, yeah. We got 5 cubic yards delivered on, is this a bad T-nut? What's going on here? Nope. Yeah, we got 5 cubic yards delivered on Friday, and I would say me and my dad moved probably 3.5 on Saturday. I'd already done maybe half the day before just on my own, and then I've got about probably a little under a yard in the driveway still, but I have nowhere to put the dirt, so I'm waiting for another raised bed. I had to order. I wasn't planning on getting another raised bed till next season because I already got quite a few this year, but the dirt wasn't cheap. It's like garden soil from a local hardscape place, and even delivery, it was $60 or $70 to have it dropped up with a big diesel in our driveway. So I definitely don't want to waste it. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm getting another raised bed, so I've got somewhere to put the soil. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Hey, Liz! Happy Wednesday! How are you doing? I feel like the last couple times I've seen you, or caught you, is like right as the stream is ending. I dropped the mag cleaner of the inside of the glass, and the enemy got me. Oh my god. Yeah, that's awful. I'm sorry, Phil. I have no idea how long, like, I have no idea how long the sting or the pain will be before it subsides, but I hope it's, for your sake, quick. Or at least there's something you can do. I was worried that my Adderall was going to screw up my sleep, but a month and a half in, that's cool. Yeah, I've never taken anything for like ADD or ADHD. I've loosely considered it, but there's some times that I really like it. I like when I'm hyper focused, I feel like I have a superpower, but then I guess all the rest of the time when I feel like a squirrel, it's definitely not a superpower. But yeah, the one thing I have taken for probably 10 years now is stuff for anxiety and panic attacks. I got really bad panic attacks in my early 20s that were pretty debilitating, and I tried all sorts of natural stuff, and it just, my quality of life was so bad, both mentally and physically, that I had to do something. And it helps. It's not perfect. I still have quite a bit of stuff, but it helps. And I think at the end of it all, like, you know, if you've got something you can do that makes your quality of life better, then it's kind of hard to not do that, you know. I was diagnosed just last year at age 53. Well, that means I've got 21 more years, Andrew. 21 more years. Is it a bird? Is it a plant? No, it's squirrel. Oh, I'm not Squirrel Man. Hey, Jose. How's the stream going? Hey, Lord. It's going good. Dude, look at this. Framing, honestly, a big part of the stream was getting through this. I should have known there was gonna be a lot of parts because it's a tool changer, but adding the tool changer parts, enclosure parts, a lot of CNC parts, 2 different power supplies, like, it's just a lot of stuff. So it took us a while. It probably took us, I have to look at the timestamps, but like an hour or so to get through everything. And then the first issue we ran into was with the vertical extrusions. They have holes drilled through them for the blind joints, and they all had aluminum shavings inside of them. The instructions state that they're aware that there was an issue with a batch, so hopefully it's something that there won't be an issue moving forward. But we had to clear that out, which wasn't that difficult, but still kind of annoying, and took a little bit of extra time. Sorry, I'm just feeling the edges of this. Still, but the frame seems to be pretty square. Like, I've built, I think my 2.4, I remember when I was building the 2.4, one or two of the extrusions had like a slight twist to it. Either a twist or it just wasn't perfectly flat. And this, like, I'm not feeling any wobble, which is really surprising. I feel like I always have a little bit of wobble, and I'm just like, I have to kind of deal with it. But yeah, it's going, like, other than that, it's going pretty good. Imagine being a newbie buying this printer, having never built a printer, they'd be boned. Yeah, I wouldn't, I mean, in defense to that, I would not recommend buying a tool changer as a newbie. That seems like a recipe for disaster. I mean, to be perfectly fair, like, I've seen plenty of issues with the Prusa XLs from various people with docking related things. The most recent thing is like VFAs on a lot of the parts. So I think that tool changers in general to me are kind of an they're an advanced machine, and I don't think I'd recommend a beginner getting a tool changer. I would say start with, I don't even know if I'd say a Core X. I mean, a Core XY is probably fine now, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm like, just get a basic Cartesian printer and learn the basics, and once you feel comfortable with that, then, you know, you can go up. But yeah, I agree, it shouldn't. Prusa at least has 24/7 support. True, this is true. I use the socket head instead of the M36 button head for the wheels or my box turtle. Impossible to loosen that wheel. Use the socket. Oh no. Are you gonna disassemble it? Yeah, we framed ProForge. Okay, so let's figure out, it's now saying we want, wait, did I screw up? Hold on. No, I didn't. There's no blind joints. Okay. Okay. I was concerned because I had put screws on the end of this guy that I wasn't going to be able to slot it in, but there's no blind joints for it, so this is not going to be, we don't need these bolts in here at all. It's just going to be using those corner brackets. Fix the extrusions in place as shown. Okay, so what we are going to do is take these out, and we definitely need to start with, I think what I'll likely do is use a piece of tape and mark center. Let me get this bolt out really quick. You can't take it apart at all? Very close to pulling the trigger on a CFS kit for the K1C. Tool changer is the dream though. I don't know much. Well, I guess I have a K2 that I need to get going. The issue is Crowley sent me a K2 and it took me a while to open it. Like, that's on me, not on them. It always seems to happen that like companies will reach out saying, hey, like we want to send you this for review, and I end up saying yes to, you know, certain number of them based off of, okay, I think there's going to be a lot of interest in this, or oh, it's something unique about it. And then there's like a huge gap, and then for some reason they all show up at the same time. So K2 showed up, and because it showed up at the same time as others, but the others showed up first, it had to wait a bit, probably a month and a half or so, maybe longer, honestly. It was quite a while. And then, oh yeah, I took it out of the box and the foot was sheared off of it from shipping. It was completely sheared off. And so I let them know, and it was like, I think it was Chinese New Year coming up. So they said, we'll get it to you after. I said, cool, no worries. And then what happened after that? Oh, and then I waited because they didn't have any, like, they didn't DHL it. Like, it was just, it seemed like slow boat. And then it showed up and it was just a bolt, no replacement foot. And they said, oh yeah, we didn't have the replacement foot, so we figured we'd send you the bolt for now. And I'm like, what is that? What am I gonna do with this? Like, why? Like, why was that the decision? Like, I need the foot. I don't need the bolt for the foot. So then I had to wait a few more weeks. So it took forever for them to get it out. So I finally got the pieces, and now I just need to, I need to actually do the thing. So, okay, so this is 47 long. So 23 and a half is our halfway point. So let me put a piece of tape on, let's see. Huh, I don't have, oh, there we go. We'll just use some glue painters. I think I will probably, let's see, where's about the halfway point? What did I say, 23 and a half, right? Yeah, that sounds right. So let's do it like this. Approximately somewhere in this area is where it'll be. Okay. Don't want it under the frame. Oh, it's okay for right this second, I suppose. Okay, and then there's the shorty that is going to be, so we'll just place this at the very bottom, like so. I don't know if I actually need one on the vertical. It kind of seems like I could probably eyeball that, but we'll do it just to have. I have the stock to replace the 10 pieces, gotcha. Where are you at on your build? Nice. Also, Phil, where are you on your box turtle build? I think I asked you this last week and I don't remember your answer. Okay. Sharpie. Also, giveaway link or giveaway form is pinned in chat. Probably do another 10 minutes, then we'll do the drawing. So it's for a Polymaker gift card. Okay, so this is where the extrusion starts. And I said 23.5. So that is going to be approximately right there. Okay. Okay. It seems pretty good to me. And then on this guy, just mark it in the center as much as I can. I don't think it matters that much per se, but that's approximately, yeah. Okay. So all I did, usually if it's off a hair, it doesn't seem to make that huge of a difference on this one, but I just did a little mark. So I basically do my best to align that Sharpie with that Sharpie, which based off what I measured, this is the halfway point of this extrusion. So almost done with the respoolers. Nice. Okay. The decision to not use D-cut shafts for the respooler was a poor one from LDO. Do you mean on the tiny little DC motors, Phil? I'm gonna chuck the whole damn thing in the bin. Oh wow. A printed spacer for locating the center strut would avoid all this fussing. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay, so let's start by just kind of loosely. What I don't want to do is have the tape get wedged behind these spacers, so let me do that. Wow, you are really zoomed in, aren't I? Okay, let's zoom out a little bit, please. Okay. I kind of wish they hadn't done these nuts. Dang it! I don't know why. I think I just saw the these nuts meme not long ago. So the second I said that, I pictured it, and I am a child. So here we are. I didn't get mine serialized yet. No, I still need to. It's separate from Box Turtle, but I need to clean up the wiring on my Nighthawk and the cable chain because that's causing issues with consistent homing and traveling because the cable's getting wrapped around my cable chain. So before I do the final firmware, like the firmware's done, but basically the macros, the final macros, I need to do that. I need to take care of that. Yeah, I just saw a meme, these nuts meme the other day, where it was like, it might have been an old one, but it was like a table with a bunch of peanuts laying over it, and the camera pans over to it, and it's the These Nuts guy like under the table with his face in the center of the peanuts, and he goes, "These nuts!" And I wasn't ready for it. Okay, so I'm going to use the block behind this to try to let's actually do it like this. Cool. And I'm going to just do my best to eyeball it. That seems pretty good. And I think I want to do down first. It seems like that makes more sense to me. More elbow shots, trying to keep those dry bows out of your faces. Yeah, I don't blame you, dude. If I got stung by an enemy, I don't know why I can't say that. I feel like freaking Finding Nemo, but an enemy. That's there we go. I would not stream. I don't think that seems like as good of a reason as any, dude. I hope you feel better though. I hope it passes quickly. I have zero idea how long the effects from that will last. Oh snap, 77 likes? Yeah, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. How many people are here? I haven't looked at the... We got 145 people here. Yeah, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. Let's get to 110. If we can get to 110, I'd be so stoked. I'd be stoked. All right, so that's in place. I'm a little bit tempted to just shove my head and see. Yep, that turned fine. That turned fine. That turned fine. Okay, they all turned, so. Okay, I'm gonna remove this tape. Sweet. Okay, so now it should just be basically repeating this process, but we're doing it like this. Ooh, that is tight. There we go. I think I'm gonna scratch. Yeah, I am definitely gonna scratch a little bit. Ah! Shit, I don't love that. Oh, I scratched the crap out of that extrusion. Oh wait. That's not as bad as I thought. I thought I scratched through, but I only scratched through a little bit on the base. Okay, I guess it was more like dirt or something like that I was seeing, not. Okay. What did I say? Did I say it's a tight fit? All right. Is it manual focus again? I hope it is. It is. Cool. Yeah, I was seeing like marks on both of these sides all the way down from where I dropped it, but when I wiped it with my finger, it came off. There's a tiny scratch there, and there's definitely a scratch right where it's at the final spot, but I'm okay with that. So I think the next thing I'll do is I'll do this guy. Yeah, I'll do this guy. So let's do this. I'm gonna have to check on all of these whether they actually tighten. Like that did not tighten. Wait, no, it did. I'm sorry. I'm goofball. I tightened it to the top, not the side. There we go. Okay, that seems pretty decent. Maybe a good idea to hold the machine square to the corner before tightening the sides. You mean like here? I feel pretty good about the center one by just keeping these extrusions like in line with each other. Gotcha, yeah. Yeah, on this side I'll definitely do something. Is that... Hold on, sorry, I heard a loud something. It's dog food. Dog food got delivered. Okay, as soon as I get these last two corner blocks in, we will do the drawing. There we go. I don't think I'm actually, yeah, I missed my mark. Okay. I shouldn't really have to hold it, I don't think, at this point, because the other side I did, but in case it twists or something, if it, I don't know if it could, but okay, it's fine. A little awkward. You printing with your Tic Tac? I haven't done anything since last Wednesday's stream with it. I was trying to get holy crap. I was trying to get this last Saturday's video done. I was actually editing until 2 in the morning on Friday to get the Centauri Carbon video done. I was done with the script and I had all the footage like quite a while back, but there's so much footage in that video of printing and print quality and part stuff, and like it just took me forever. So yeah, my main focus basically after Wednesday's stream was get that video done. I'm not doing a video this weekend. I need a slight break. I'll still be working, but just I don't even have the time. The big project for this week was moving a bunch of soil, so I definitely don't see any gaps with it just sitting there, so. Well, I guess I could check it too. That looks pretty damn square on that corner. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. I don't know if I want to just kind of hold this. I don't really feel like it's going to do much, but yeah, it looks good. I don't think it's necessary to actually have a block anymore, because this is already like basically set from these, and this is not. Well, no, it can. You know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll just use it the same way I was doing it before, basically like this, to prevent it from being able to flex. Did music stop? Or is music still playing? I can't hear it, but the go-kart's back. So I can't hear much of anything. I just came back to the stream, saw this shot, and immediately thought for a sec that was a Trident frame. It looks a hell of a lot like a Trident frame. The only real difference I can see right now is on the Trident, I think that the Z's offset, right? It's not perfectly in line with this extrusion. At least that's what I remember of the Trident frame. But yeah, it definitely feels Trident-y. It's still going, okay, all right. Yeah, it feels pretty good to me. All right, last one. Let's get it started. You know what? In defense to the music, I have a go-kart now and the AC turned on. So the AC vent is literally right above my head. So it's not exactly a winning combo for being able to hear music. As long as you guys can hear something. Other than me grunting and I don't know, whatever the hell else I'm doing. All right. I like it like this better. It's easy for me to hold it. Okay. Give me my driver. There we go. This one is awkward. Should go like this maybe. It's just all around awkward. Let me change the angle a little bit. Okay, try it like this. It's just kind of awkward. It's so close to that top extrusion. I used hammerheads for a really long time and feel like I have a pretty good method for making sure they turn in, but I have screwed them up before, definitely, as well, and agree that I think that roll-ins are far superior. I've gotten quite spoiled with roll-ins. But yeah, I mean, it's every build used the hammerheads when I started building stuff, so. Do you stream shoeless? I learned a valuable lesson last week. Don't drop crimps. Ooh. I definitely don't we don't wear shoes in the house. My mom raised me with her sort of, I don't know if it's a Swedish thing, but certainly like her parents' house and stuff, then my grandparents' house, no one wears shoes. So yeah, we don't wear shoes inside. Does Loctiting hammerheads work as quarter turn nuts? I don't think I've ever Loctited a hammerhead. Okay, all right, everyone. Let's do 2 more minutes, and then I will unpin the giveaway form, and then another minute after that, and we'll do the drawing. So we're done with that. Whoa. That is a lot of parts. We'll probably end up calling it here, too, because we do have swim lessons, and we did get the frame built, so it looks like the next thing we're going to be doing is basically working on bearing stacks. So rear motor bracket, gantry idler, sick. The dock, I'm super excited to get that on. Nice. So yeah, we'll do bearing stacks, and then base is the next thing. I'll have things a bit more organized for next stream. I'll probably just, similar to the Tic Tac, instead of having all these parts out, just have the parts that I think we'll need for at least the first chunk of the stream. Oh, that's Scandinavian, no shoes inside. Yeah. So that's basically how my mom raised us, was no shoes in the house. Granted, we had carpet for a lot of my life growing up, and then we got a lot of hardwood. It's similar here, like the bedrooms have carpet here, which I do quite enjoy. But the main room, like when you walk in, the hall, the bathrooms are not obviously carpet, and then like the whole living room, kitchen, none of that's carpet. But I still just like not having shoes on in the house. There's some exceptions to that, like if I need to quickly walk across the house or something like that, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna unpin the form, and then if you're filling it out, you've got another, let's see, remove another minute. Yep. I wouldn't feel comfortable. Oh, I couldn't see your message. It kind of popped up. I'd rather not wear shoes. Yeah, I don't. I've got like, my feet sweat and are gross, so I like to let them breathe. I mean, whatever your prerogative is, if that's your thing, then that's your thing. A lot of people do wear shoes inside, but yeah, it's not my thing. Slippers are cool. I can get down. Aaron's got me slippers, and I never really wear them. I think that I would almost prefer like indoor Crocs. It's something about the fuzzy that make my feet really warm that I don't really love, other than on like really cold days. But I can see myself wearing like slip-on Crocs around the house, just to give myself some like, some support. I don't even like to wear shoes outside. I'm from Southern California, so there's a lot of flip-flops, and I still own 1 pair of shoes and 2 pairs of flip-flops, so definitely running around the house, I like flip-flops. I hate having to take my shoes off when I come into a house, except in winter when there's snow, of course. Yeah, we tell everyone, like, even like the cable guy or whoever comes in. Usually they pretty much all have like booties to put over their shoes, and that's fine. Like, booties are cool, but no shoes in my 3D printing room, too much static electricity. Do you know if you can build an orbiter with the Orbiter 2.5 upgrade parts plus regular mini Sherpa? I don't. I don't. I have both the mini Sherpa and orbiter, but I haven't done like an exact side-by-side comparison, and I'm not sure the exact differences between the two. Barefoot at all opportunities. No shoes, why stop there? No clothes? All right, GPs, we have, come on, we got some rules here. This is not a nudist colony. All right, everyone, that's enough. You've heard enough of my shenanigans. Let's go ahead and do this drawing. So we have got a total of 105 entries. Download them all. Do we hit 100 likes? I haven't looked. Let's see. 94. If you haven't hit the like button, please smack it. We just need 6 more people. 6 more brave souls. It doesn't bite, I promise. Pinky promise. Okay, downloads. Extract all. Right, how many people did I say? 104, right? No, 105. Cool. We did it! Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Here. Lots of sound effects. Thank you. All right. It is that time again. Everyone's favorite time of the stream where we give away a Polymaker gift card. For anyone that hasn't been here for one previously, the winner will get an email from me in the next 24 hours. And if it takes longer than that, I apologize, but usually I'm pretty good. And yeah, thank you, massive thank you to Polymaker for letting us do this giveaway. And if anyone needs Polymaker filament and wants to support the channel, there's a link in the description, and it doesn't increase the cost of the spools, but when you use the link, Polymaker gives a percentage of the purchases back to the channel, which is cool. So, hey, speaking of the Polymaker, what's going on? Can we get a let's see, what do we want for? We'll do a. Can we get a high Polymaker in chat? Yeah, if you win the giveaway, I will definitely never hear the end of how I rigged it. So, yes. All right, everyone, let's do this. That's so cool. Polymaker is in the house. How many times are we shuffling today? How many times are we going to be shuffling? Rigged. 10 times? 12 times? 13 times? 13 shrimp is spamming. 23 times 3. We'll do... Tuxedo says 12. We'll do 12 for Tux today. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. Good luck, everyone. In 3, 2. Here we go. Joel has a birthday this week on Friday. Hey, happy early birthday, Joel. He didn't tell me that. We just talked too. That's for Joel. Oh, Tuxedo, you almost won. It would have been rigged, dude. If you picked 12 and you won, oh, that one would have been super rigged. That was, hey, Aaron. Yeah, happy early birthday. That's funny. I just looked up and was like, oh my gosh, Tuxedo almost rolled. Hasio's Prince, you are this week's winner. Congratulations to you. Let's do a...
That was easy.
Congratulations to you. I will send you an email probably this evening. Yes, probably this evening, but if not by tomorrow, you will get an email. Congratulations. Hey, Aaron's in chat. Congratulations. And yeah, thank you everyone for entering in. We will pick up next week. At least now we have a better idea of what is all included. There's a lot more. This is going to be a heavy printer. The box felt really heavy, which makes sense considering there's three times the amount of tool heads that you normally have, 2 extra motors, a secondary power supply, and there's a lot more metal parts than printed parts. And there's a few parts that are CNC that are polymer, but they're completely solid, and that adds a lot of weight as well. So I'm very excited. I will say that I don't want to say that this was the easiest frame to put together, but had we not had those little shavings in here, it might have been one of the easier frames that I've built. I mean, if you go back to some of my streams, at least the 2.4, maybe the Trident, I was like using wood clamps to clamp it down to the desk because it wanted to twist on me. But like, I mean, there's no, well, there's teeny, in this direction, like you can hear the metal, but I mean, this is this is really flat for any build that I've done of anything this size. So I'm quite pleased with that. How many Cheez-Its? Oh God, Steve's our Cheez-It mathematician. I don't know Cheez-It formulas. Yeah. So next week we will be picking up with, it seems like, the back plate for the, where's the back plate? This is the back plate. I don't know exactly how it's gonna sit. It looks like it probably just goes right there inside of here. Yeah, it probably goes like that. So we're gonna install the back plate as well as bearing stacks. We'll get the base on here, and then I have no idea what's after that. But I will look ahead just a little bit, not to cheat, but just so that way I can organize things a bit more and like not have everything out that doesn't need to be out, because it just takes me forever. You see me. I feel like I would love to know how much of my streams are dedicated, like what percentage is food talk and what percentage is me saying, where did I put that, or where is that? It has to be, I want to say, like, in some cases maybe 10%, but that could be a little exaggeration. It'll be lighter without all that. Yeah, there was a lot of cardboard and foam as well, so I have to figure out, I have to break all that down later. But anyways, thank you all for hanging out. I hope you had a wonderful day. Is there indeed another Wednesday in this month, or is it, how many days are this month? Okay, cool. So last Wednesday will be the next, nope, next Wednesday will be the last Wednesday of the month, and we will continue along with this. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. Like I said, it feels weird streaming without Steve after a month and a half of squirreling around and working on a Tic Tac. Yeah, I've got pretty hard 3-hour cutoff right now. One, I get pretty burnt out at 3 hours. Like I have my energy, like I crash. Like I feel like because I consider myself pretty high energy, even though it might not, I don't know how if it comes off like that, but like it just, after 3 hours, I start to decline. I'm like, I need to rest for a little bit. But also Wednesdays now we have some classes for Jackson, so that's another reason. But yeah, we missed Steve too. So thank you everyone for hanging out. Reminder to my viewers, today is canceled. Yeah, Phil's not streaming today. He got stung by an enemy. I think I said that right. So I hope you feel better, man. I hope it's a quick recovery and you're back on your feet. And yeah, I like to stream with Steve, but I'm glad you have your undivided attention. Yeah, I will say that's the only potential downside is when I do stream with someone else, Steve, or like I guess anyone, even though Steve's the primary person I stream with, I'm a little more distracted than normal, and so I do know that I don't keep up with chat as well because I'm so focused on like, what are we doing, Steve? What's going on? And yeah, so there's pros and cons of it all, but it was a lot of fun. Okay, on that note, I am ending it. Cheers, congratulations to our winner. Thank you to all of our members, new ones, old ones, gifted memberships, and donations, and I will catch you all on Wednesday. Also, no video this weekend. I'm taking this weekend to work on next week's video, but I can't. I had to move so much dirt. All right, everyone, I'll catch you later.